O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines. If you're Miami. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CS, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, welcome aboard. Time to rock and roll. It is a Friday. Okay, seems like a little hair there dangling from the hat. It is a Friday, and you made it to the weekend. Yes, it's a beautiful thing. Hope you all are doing well out there. Knight says, I'm ready for this game. I truly believe San Francisco is going to try and play cover in hopes of keeping Tyreek and Waddle in front of their defenders. Tua's going to eat. Well, we'll see. We'll see if they're going to eat. We'll see if they'll eat. They'll eat well, and we will find out on Sunday. Remember, we will have your pregame show at 2:00. So Sean, myself, Chad, and the rest of the crew will get you ready for the game. And then obviously we'll be on right after when it's all said and done. And yes, if you're asking and wondering, are we going to be doing the pre and post also for the night games? Yes, we don't shy away from any of that stuff. So we will do the pre and we will do the post on all those night games. Yes, they will be late, but we will be here. We're not afraid to work on this platform. We will work and we will get it done. Football season's only for 4 months out of the year, so we will sacrifice, and then the other 8, we will hang out and wait for another 4 months of football is basically what we're going to do. So, yes, we will be covering all of the games, pre and post, like always, and we'll give you the best coverage out there for your Miami Dolphins every single week. So appreciate all of you out there. Release the Yorkie. What does that mean? I'm missing it went right over my head. Do you know what that means at all, Sean? Release the Yorkie?
Yeah, you said Tua was like your Yorkie.
Oh, whoa, very nice. Very nice. I like that. Yes, very good, Bonsai. That is that. Okay. I like it. There you go. Yes, the Yorkie will be out and kicking some ass this weekend. That's for damn sure, bro. He's gonna ball this week. I feel good about Tua this week and the offense. With Armstead, I feel incredibly good about this game. Without Armstead, I still think they've got a fighting chance and they can get it done. So I just think this is a team that's, if you've got your QB and you could give him some time, he has enough weapons. The defense isn't, outstanding. It isn't like this shutdown type defense, but it is a defense that finds ways to make plays. And I think against a guy like Jimmy G, they will find ways to make plays. I'm looking forward to this game, man. So, yes, release the Yorkie, release it all, baby. I'm with you there. And by the way, for those of you that may not have caught that segment that Bonsai is talking about, I am not saying that literally Tua is a Yorkie, okay? What I meant by in that segment that we were talking about, and I compared him to my Yorkie, is that Tua is fearless of anything that he faces. It doesn't matter. And he'll put his shoulder into a guy who's trying to tackle him, and he'll take shots, and he'll do all kinds of crazy ass shit because the guy is fearless. We don't want him to do that because obviously we want him to stay healthy. But my point was that my Yorkie is the same way. My Yorkie is the smallest dog I have. And he's, he weighs like, I don't know, 4 pounds soaking wet or whatever. And yet he'll take on a 150-pound dog and he'll bark at him and try to attack him like he thinks he's going to have a shot at hurting anybody. A human being, a big dog, whatever. And it's just funny. You know what I mean? Because, like, you could just, smack the little thing and he's going to roll like 800 feet. You know what I mean? That's why I laugh when he gives attitude to the big dogs. And the big dogs, they're so good. They just look at him and just kind of laugh. And, because they have, they get along with other dogs. So they kind of get it like, oh, well, he's just small. He's just got an attitude. So that's the deal, just in case, because, we'll get some people out there and they go to some other extreme and they, no. It's the fearless part of the Yorkie is the same thing that Tua has. He is fearless of everything, even coaches that hate him. He's fearless. Okay. And there's you know what? I'll find it later on, and I'll bring it up. Okay, now that I thought about it, I made a mental note, and I'll bring it up later on the show. By the way, we are loaded as always today. Cameron Wolfe is going to stop by at 10:30. Manny Navarro will stop by at 11. You got fantasy football questions? Start sending them in on the Welt and Rayom text line at 855-912-1056. Post them there. Remember, then you can come back later to listen to the segment. You can listen to it after it's recorded, and Sean puts it out on video and audio. So you could always send in your questions on the Welt and Rayom text line. I will try to get all of them in on the Welt and Rayom text line at 855-912-1056. By the way, Jeff Welt from Welt and Rayom, he got tickets for Metallica in Mexico City. So our group gets bigger and bigger. If any of you are going to Metallica in Montreal or Metallica in Mexico City, now we've got a long time to the Mexico City one. Okay, so we've got a year and a half to that. No, more than that, dude. It's like a year and it's almost 2 years, really. It's like a year and 10 months, actually, we have till that one. But we have the August one, which is, and before you know it, it's here, which sucks. Time always flies. But if you are going to Montreal or Mexico City on this Metallica tour, please reach out to me, tell me, so we can pick up a spot to hang out and have a couple beers, all of that. But, the bigger the group, the better, and more fun for all of us to be together. So if you got a shot, and you are going to see Metallica on this tour that's coming up over the next year and a half, tell me about it. All right, we're gonna go to the Montreal. We're gonna go to Mexico City. So I'm looking forward to it. So Dan and Jeff. Dan's not a rocker. Dan's actually a pilot. And he's been wanting to take me on his stunt plane, which, by the way, I got to get on that damn plane. I want to go check that out. I'm going to have the wife film it. I'm sure I'll end up throwing up or something because he does all kinds of stunts on the planes and all that kind of stuff. Dan's kind of, probably, you've got to be at least some kind of screw loose to be doing those kind of things. And then I've got to screw loose, so I'm actually going to get in the plane with him and do it. We will film it so you guys can laugh at me when I get off the plane and I'm like, discombobulated, throwing up, all that kind of stuff. So we'll have some fun with that. Jeff is a rocker like I am. And he was actually at the Metallica concert at Hard Rock Hollywood recently for the one that they just had. So he got tickets also for Mexico City. So he's going to go. And again, I keep telling you all, if you need a great lawyers, right here in South Florida in Hollywood, Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646. I witnessed it firsthand when I had these stupid-ass kids go through my wall here in my house and just create all kinds of havoc for my life for months. And before, Progressive tried to screw me, basically. And by the way, Progressive, you will never get my business, ever, for the way you handled this case. But Welton Rayom, what do we got here, Sean? A full Nelson, then a body slam, then what do we do? What do we do when we're like choking, but then we want to lift them up and slam them down? What are we doing? What wrestling move are we doing, Sean? Give me something, some kind of suplex or something. What the hell is it? I don't know what it is. Some suplex, some full Nelson or something.
It's a power bomb.
There we go. That's exactly what Welton Rayom did to Progressive. Dude, they were giving me 1/5 of what we originally got. 1/5. Okay? Screw you. Welton Rayom crushed their ass. So bankruptcy, homeowner property damage like me, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. You call Welton Rayom, man, 954-966-4646, and make sure you tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you, man, in Hollywood. So anywhere in South Florida, call them. And if you have any kind of damage, before you even call the insurance company, you call them. They have some kick-ass adjusters of their own. Property damage stuff, car, whatever, you name it. And they will first do all the adjusting first. And they know exactly what it's going to cost. So that way, when the insurance companies get there with their adjuster, you're already way ahead. Okay? Do not call the insurance company. Call Welton Rayom first. 954-966-4646. But for fantasy football questions at noon, okay, with Scott Pianowski, send them in on the Welt and Rayom text line at 855-912-1056. Don't put them on the chat board now because it's going to completely get lost by now till noon, okay? I will not be able to find them. On the chat board, you got to put them up right when he's coming on at noon, so that way I see them and I can go through it on the chat board. But if not, on the Welton Rayom text line, it's much, much easier for that. So, and then we've got Ira Winderman at 12:30 since he's on the road. And today, obviously, they got the Celtics tonight again. And Celtics favored by 8 over and unders 225.5. Heat are plus 280 on the money line, and Boston is minus 340 on the money line. There you go. Big O, when we win the Super Bowl in February, I'm buying you the original championship hat for your hat collection. Well, thank you, sir. Dude, that's freaking nice of you. I appreciate that. I look forward to it. I mean, Sean and I will be in Arizona to cover the Dolphins Super Bowl run. I can guarantee you that. We will be there. Okay? So we are looking forward to hitting it down there in Zona. I know it seems like that would never happen to you, but just to know that it easily can. Never say anything to people or a vet that your dog is aggressive. Huh? William, you just better hope it never. Huh? Oh, you guys are in another conversation or something? Anyway, what else do we have on the chat board? I see Steve Chapman, of course, number one there on the chat board. Carlos Segarro in there. Gus 1388. Ian from Brooklyn. Love it. Yes, on the Antonio Brown stuff. I mean, domestic violence charge. He's locked up in his home. They tried to serve him the warrant. They couldn't. They're going to go back to try to serve it to him again. I mean, he's a lost cause. Okay, that's Antonio Brown is headed to jail eventually. Look, some people can be helped, and some people don't want to get help. And clearly, everybody's tried to help that guy in every way, shape, and possible. Okay, Brady could not have helped that guy more, and all he's done is screw over Brady. You know, Antonio Brown is. It gets to. Listen, man, he almost killed a child by throwing furniture off a 12-story floor, beating up a truck driver. You know, sexually assaulting women, hitting women, allegedly, all this stuff that has gone on. This is a guy that deserves zero sympathy. Zero sympathy. That's all. That's really the way it goes. I'm sorry. I don't have any sympathy for the guy. Once you're, listen, we all can make a mistake. We can all hurt somebody once or whatever. And we can all say something that's hurtful. We can all do, we can all make a mistake. You can have a DUI, this, that. We're all human beings. We're all going to make, mistake. But when it's habitual, when it's something that you're constantly doing, hurting people left and right, physically, emotionally, financially, every way possible, I don't have any sympathy for you anymore because you are causing too much pain in society, period, to too many people. Isolated incidents, you can overcome, you can treat, you can seek help, you can do all those things, and you deserve it. But once it gets to this, it's unacceptable. You got to move on. Once it gets to Alex Jones, unacceptable. There's no hope. You move on. There are some people that cannot be helped. Kanye West cannot be helped. Just got banned from Twitter yesterday. Elon Musk said, finally, you crossed the line. Really? Wow. Okay. Going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people wasn't enough for you already, but okay, well, whatever. So now he's an anti-Semite and a Hitler lover. Wow. That was some stuff, I got to say. Man. Whew. So some people don't deserve any help. Some people just deserve what they're going to get, i.e. Alex Jones, i.e. Kanye West, i.e. Antonio Brown. Okay? They get what they deserve. I don't care about helping anybody like that at all. None of those people are a positive to society whatsoever. Okay? I don't care what music Kanye makes that you like. Doesn't matter to me. Bigotry and hate and bias and anti-Semitism and none of that is a Hitler lover. My God, give me a break, dude. And by the way, dumbass, Hitler didn't invent highways, you moron. Also, when you're an uneducated dumbass, that doesn't help out either. Jesus Christ. It's just like, that's the problem in our world. When we saw what happened with the FTX thing, it's because people were not smart and they allowed that guy to take advantage of you. We talk about it all the time. not your keys, not your crypto, yet you kept it on the exchanges. Meanwhile, what's happened the last couple of weeks? Billions have been taken off exchanges because everybody's finally gotten a cold storage wallet. Holy shit, really? It took you that long to figure it out? You mean Celsius and Voyager and all these other things that were happening didn't wake you up? You had to wait for FTX? Like, that kind of stuff. So I have zero sympathy for anybody that's constantly hurting people. Okay? I have all the sympathy in the world for somebody that makes the mistake and then wants help and wants to correct it. I'm all for that. I'm never for the person who ruthlessly and constantly is out to hurt people like Alex Jones and Sandy Hook and every other stupid thing that he's doing. Those are not the kind of people that we should support or have any kind of sympathy for. So I have no sympathy for Antonio Brown. Everybody's tried to help that guy, and all he does is screw everybody over that helps him. Zero sympathy for that. So I don't know. This is not the place for it. I got sympathy for, the people that deserve it, that really want it, that want to be helped, that want to be positive. Those are the kind of people you got to help. The other ones, jail them. That's what they deserve. People losing their parents can cause serious trauma for some people. He lost his moral compass. Yeah. Lots of people have bad things happen to them, man. You make your own choices. I don't believe it. I don't believe in that, my brother. Dwayne Wade grew up in a terrible household, and you fight it. And you choose your path. We all choose our paths. We all have all kinds of upbringings that could have led us to other directions. Growing up in the 80s, I could have gone in many other directions, and I chose not to. And I had plenty of bad stuff going on around me in life, and I never chose that path to go, oh, okay, that's the career I want to take. No. So it's everybody makes their own choices. You know what I mean? So you want to live your life right. You want to help people out. You want to do your job. You want to be a good citizen. I don't think it's that difficult, really. I just don't find it that hard to actually be a decent human being and help your fellow man out if you get a chance. I know I do practically almost every day. I'm helping somebody else out. I know that it seems to be like that, but that's fine. I don't mind. That's kind of what we're here for, to help each other out. We're not here to bring each other down, man, and spew hate, and that's not, doesn't make any sense. John says, FTX Arena, I'm pissed at the Heat for allowing them to get naming rights. Well, I mean, that's money, buddy. They got $100 million. They're probably going to have to give some of it back now, since they're going to take it down. Don Gabriel says, would you consider coming to LA for the Chargers game? Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're gonna pay for us to go out there, Don? Yeah, we'll go out there. We'll go do the Chargers game. Hell yeah. You think I'm gonna turn down a trip to LA? Are you out of your mind? Hell yeah, Don. Hells to the yeah. Our super chat, our Cash App, don't send it on super chat because they'll take 30%. But Cash App or Venmo, what do we need to go out there? Plane tickets, hotel, a car. It's a lot of money, bro. I don't know if you want, I don't know, Don, maybe you're that comfortable, but yeah, it's going to take a couple bucks to do something like that. But hell yeah, we would go out to do. Are you kidding? You're going to tell me that we, to go out to LA and do a show? Of course, brother. I wouldn't turn down a trip to LA ever. That's like one of my favorite places to go visit. I don't know about living there. I got to tell you, I don't know about Southern California and living there because the traffic there is, I mean, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But yeah. You know, you want to send in Cash App at Cash Big O Show. Send in a couple grand, and that'll get us there. I think. I'm pretty sure. Go ahead. Let's go. But we got to find a oh, you know what? We could talk to my man SoCal. He probably has a Dolphins bar we could broadcast from. I could probably swing the bar. So there you go. So Don Gabriel, if you want to Cash App us over there, then we'll do it, bro. We'll do it. We have no problem with that. Big O, have you ever been to Lafayette, Walnut Creek area? Walnut Creek, Lafayette, like Louisiana? Is that what you're talking about? Lafayette, Louisiana? I got a funny story of Lafayette, Louisiana. I don't know if I still have the picture. So me and Brandon Rodriguez, who was my producer at the time, great freaking dude, one of the best people I've ever worked with in my entire life. The work ethic, like my man Sean, just I've been blessed, man. Brian Spector was amazing. Brandon Rodriguez was a blessing. Obviously, I love Bill Preston to death. But I've been blessed that I've been able to work with some really, really good people, and Brandon was one of them. And we were on our way to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Dallas Super Bowl. Yeah, because Brandon got sick in the Dallas Super Bowl, and I had to go get medicine for him. And I was driving like 5 miles an hour while I was watching people hydroplane into walls because the streets were so iced up. I got lucky. I did not crash because I stayed at 5 miles an hour. It took me like an hour to go 10 blocks away. But hey, it is what it is. And I got back with the medicine. So we're driving from Mobile to Dallas. So we go through Lafayette, Louisiana. By the way, you're talking about Lafayette east of Oakland. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll get to that then. So we're at Lafayette, Louisiana. Okay. And there's a university there too. I forgot what university exactly is there. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's Lafayette, right? I think it is. It's Lafayette. And so, or is it Lafayette? Check it out. Check it out for me, Sean. Is there a Lafayette, Louisiana, or maybe I'm confusing with Shreveport?
No, there's a University of Louisiana Lafayette, ULL.
Okay, so yeah, okay, all right, good. All I know is this: if you live in Lafayette, Louisiana, when you get off on the exit that I'm talking about, there's a Sonic. Fat people know food. That's how we do it. Okay, we find places. Hey, turn on the Burger King over there. About a mile down. You go about 2 blocks down. You'll see a Pollo Loco. It's right next to it. That's what we do. It's what we do. So there's a Sonic, and we get off to get some food, right? So we're in the drive-through. I'm looking through my pictures to see if I can find it. Although, you know what? Somebody put on search engine on Twitter, Big O Show Bruce Lee. So, because it might just be there. Do me the favor, Sean, put Big O Show and then put Bruce Lee. And tell me what comes up if an Asian dude comes up. So we pull in, we get our food, and the guy that's serving us is an Asian dude, and his name is Bruce Lee. I shit you not. I was like, okay, wait a minute. I'm in Lafayette, Louisiana. I'm at a Sonic, and an Asian dude is serving us named Bruce Lee. And I go, dude, I got to take a picture of you. This is just too much. And he goes, I get it all the time. The Raging Cajuns, that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. I'm pretty sure you're right. I know I'm not going crazy because I remember it, but it's funny. And we tweeted it out that we were there, and the guy named Bruce Lee was serving us, an Asian dude in Lafayette, Louisiana. I'm looking through my cell phone. Luckily on on Apple, you get to transfer everything on the cloud, and it shows up. Anything show up, Sean? At all? It's an old tweet. It's from a long time ago, whenever that Dallas Super Bowl was. Speaking of that, you see this? Huh? Whipped out the 2006 NBA Finals hat. How about that, baby? Give you a little blast from the past. That's what it's all about. Love it. What do we got going on here? Oh, yes. So Don Gabriel, we await, thank you for the super chat, first of all, and we await your big Cash App to get us to the seriously, you send that money, I'll book everything today. I'm over there. I'm gone. Morning, I'm glad Twitter suspended Kanye. I just don't understand why they continue to give these clowns, Alex Jones and Kanye, a platform. Yeah. Well, for the shock value, that's why the news does it, because obviously, and it's going to get out there. But I think by the way, Alex Jones just filed for bankruptcy. Not enough bad shit can happen to Alex Jones. I mean, not enough. The amazing part is, you have people that are stupid enough to believe kind of stuff that whether Kanye says or Alex Jones or Trump or anybody that spews lies, CNN, Fox, there's stupid enough people that can't decipher what is real, what is not. And so then they believe the wrong people all the time because they're not very smart. You know what I'm saying? So what are you going to do? It's kind of part of our society now. And you've got entire news organizations like CNN and Fox that are constantly spewing all kinds of incorrect stuff. And this is what we got. This is what we got to deal with. You just got to be smart enough to read through the BS. And the problem is there aren't enough people that are smart enough to read through what's real and what's not. That's the sad part. So what are you going to do? Big O, is it possible for you to have players on your show, though, the week that they yeah, I can. I just haven't really made a major effort at all, to be quite honest, to have players on. That's all on me, not anybody else. I could have players on. I just haven't really made a big effort for putting on players. They're going to give you mostly the company lines. They can't say anything. You know what I mean? So it's you go to those interviews, and we go on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and we get the interviews, and rarely is going to come something from it that isn't a cliche. And that's just kind of the way it goes. Really, how many times do you really get any kind of substance from those kind of interviews? They're kind of very fluff. It's almost like better doing it in the off seasons. Let's see, what else do we have? Big O, I unfortunately came up with a Thanksgiving Day question a week late, but which Dolphin player were the most giving to the community from your experience? God, there's a lot of them, man. There's a lot of them. It's just, I don't know. I don't think I'm educated enough to truly know who's the one guy that's given back the most. Because they've all done it while they're here. I guess you would have to go with guys that have been here the longest. Like a Marino that's lived here forever. And so he has his own foundation, and he's been here forever, stuff like that. I know OJ McDuffie's done a lot of charitable stuff over the years, a ton. He's been here forever. Guys like that, it would have to be. It can't be just the guys that were here and then they're gone. It has to be guys that were here and then stayed here and made South Florida part of their lives. Those are the guys like Alonzo Mourning. In fact, when sports and business collide, we like doing something here on the show called the KSDT Sports Business Report. Well, in this KSDT CPA Sports Business Report, it's so cool. Look, I'm wearing the finals hat here. This is the 2006 NBA Finals. Miami Heat defeating the Dallas Mavericks. I was in that locker room filled with champagne, right? As UD was celebrating, as Wade was hugging that trophy, as Alonzo Mourning was celebrating, and Shaquille O'Neal was celebrating. Well, Shaquille O'Neal and Alonzo Mourning are reuniting to give fans something to cheer about again. The former Heat centers who brought an NBA championship in 2006 are teaming up to refurbish basketball courts as part of their $20 million renovation at a youth center in South Beach. The project is funded by Shaq's Foundation, and it's a longtime partner with Icy Hot as part of their Comeback Courts program that fix up rundown courts. Comeback Courts also refurbish basketball courts in Las Vegas, Nevada, and Newark, New Jersey. The latest Comeback Court is located in Miami, inside Mourning's Overtown Youth Center. When I got drafted in 92, the first thing my mom said to me was, "Baby, now that you're rich and famous, you have a responsibility." She said, "All these kids look up to you. You have to say the right thing and do the right thing." So Shaq and Zoe, the newly renovated court, by the way, is slated to open in 2023. And this is what I was talking about. If we're going to talk about, those guys that have given back a lot, it's got to be not just the guy that is here. Like, Tyreek is doing a lot of stuff now community-wise, right? But he just got here. Whereas Zoe's been here forever. Since he got here, he's done a crap ton of charitable work. So has Marino, OJ McDuffie, Jason Taylor, all these kind of cats. They did it, a lot of community, a lot of charitable stuff while they're players. But then they stayed here in South Florida, and they're one of us. And so that would be my example of the kind of, if you ask me who's the guy that's given back the most, I don't know exactly who it is, but it's got to be a guy that made the community his home once he was done. You know what I'm saying? And I would say it'd have to be a Marino, it'd have to be a Zoe, it'd have to be a Wade, it'd have to be somebody that is also, although Wade isn't necessarily full-time here anymore, by the way. It's not really a full-time South Florida resident. It's kind of owning another team out west and stuff. So, we love you anyways, Wade. But no, all kidding aside, that's probably, I would probably lean to those kind of people are the ones that have made more charitable impact because they've been here, forever from the day they arrived. That is your KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right, we go from one KSDT to another. Now let's go to our KSDT CPA Miami Dolphins report. We unleash the Wolf Pack.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolfe. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDTCPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL Insider Cameron Wolfe.
All righty. There he is. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
I'm good, man. I just left the barbershop, got a fresh cut on. Gonna get some work done and then chill on my Friday, so I'm good.
I like it. All right. What'd you think of the Jimmy G story?
The Jimmy G story, as in him saying that the Dolphins were one of the teams on his list?
Well, yeah, he said that there was some interest.
Gotcha.
What do you think? What do you think the context of that was?
It's a good question. I'm not sure, because obviously this team is said they've been all in on Tua at the same point throughout the offseason. At the same point, I guess you always have to do your due diligence on guys you're familiar with. So I'm not sure if it was, a backup plan if Tua doesn't work out, or if your backup quarterback doesn't work out, or for some reason he gets released and he's out there for free. I'm not really sure what the context of it was, but it seemed to me that if the Dolphins wanted to get Jimmy G to be their starting quarterback, then they could have done that. Like, the price wasn't that high. And so I'm not sure if Jimmy's just referencing what he more was interested in versus the team. I would have to ask Jimmy G a little bit more on that.
I doubt he will elaborate unless you really know Jimmy G well, or
right,
his agent. Can I take a stab?
Go for it.
I think Chris Grier, while he's fighting for his GM life, and he's got to fight off a head coach that he hired that is backstabbing him, trying to steal power away from him by manipulating the owner. And finally, he gets to throw Flo overboard and got rid of him. But then he's got the two monsters above him that write his check, and they want to go out and get Tom Brady. And so I think Chris Grier, in the middle of all that shit, goes, oh, man, I got to have a plan B, because Tom Brady's going to come here for a year and then become an owner. So then I'm left without a quarterback. Let me see if Jimmy G's available, since they're not going to use him. They can't be asking for a ton. So maybe I can trade for Jimmy G, have him sit behind Brady. They know each other already. And then all of a sudden, Jimmy G takes over the following year if I'm forced to do all of this stuff. I believe Grier, Allen, and McKenzie were behind Tua the entire time. But I believe they were, unfortunately, in a box at the moment because they had all the other crap around him going on. And I think possibly the Jimmy G talk from here could have been a plan B post Brady, if that's the direction that they were going to go in.
Yeah, right. I mean, we're all kind of
Wait. Breaking up there. Hold on a second. You're not. Try it again now. Let's see.
Do you hear me well?
Yeah, no, it's breaking up there. It's like your picture's frozen right now. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. What are you, in a tunnel or something? Is that what it is?
Better? No, my garage.
Oh, you're in your garage. Slightly.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think you got to get in your house.
Yeah, I'm walking in the house right
now. Yeah. Don't you love live? So you get to see what really goes on in life and everything going on, and you see how Cam Wolfe is getting a trim, getting ready to go and hit the road and look all pretty at the NFL Network, and covering all kinds of football and breaking all kinds of news and giving all kinds of insight.
All right, is this right here?
That's much better. Even with the Philly shirt and everything, much better.
Still got a rep.
Damn right.
I do think that, like anything, you always got to have backups. Like, whether the backup was for Tom Brady, like you say, or whether the backup was for Tua, or, you just have to always have a disaster plan. And so I wouldn't be too worried about that, Dolphins fans. I don't know if Mike McDaniel or Chris has to say anything to Tua after that comes out, but to me, it's not a huge deal. We knew that Jimmy G was available since February. And so to get a call, if there was a call on what the price was or what the situation is, or get a little bit more information, I don't know that that's a huge deal.
Oh no, I don't think it's I don't think it's a big deal at all. Dude, if he survived Flo and Watson last year,
Right.
he'll survive anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely anything, dude. He'll survive. So
Yeah.
that to me is, I'm not concerned about that, but I was intrigued to think about how the interest from Miami and Garoppolo was about, and I think that's kind of what it might have been about. It might have been all right, these idiots want to try to bring in Brady. All right, if this is what I got to deal with, then let me get a plan B, because Brady's only going to be here for a year. And Jimmy G's not doing anything. Let's see what I can get out of what I have to give up. And at that point, they had a lot of draft capital, so they were in a much better place. You know what I mean? So they had stuff to give easily to then acquire Jimmy G if they wanted to, if they were going to acquire Brady.
Yeah, certainly possible. Certainly possible. I will say that, regardless of what would have happened, I got to say that both teams got to be happy the way it did happen. The Tua, regardless of what was happening with Brady, sticking with Tua turns out to be a much better move, than taking a 1 or 2 year shot with Brady. And the 49ers, they tried to give Jimmy G away to anybody who would give them a bone. And ultimately, Trey Lance gets hurt, and Jimmy G is the quarterback leading them on a potential contending run. And so two teams who the 49ers case was probably just lucky. The Dolphins case, finally finding somebody that believes in your young quarterback and going all in on them. And now we're in this game where it's worked out perfectly for both sides.
Yeah, I'm with you there. What's your gut tell you on Armstead? What do you think? Does he give it a go, or is it just for show?
So I reported this week he's been telling guys, around the team in the locker room that he was aiming to play. Now the question is, how much does the team get in front of Armstead and say, I know you're tough, I know you want to do this, let's give it a week or two of rest? I think a lot of it's probably going to be on functionality. He hasn't been at practice the last couple of days, but he also didn't practice regularly with the toe injury. So that doesn't really mean anything. I mean, heck, he could not practice today and still could play on Sunday, just the way he works. And so this could be one that, if they don't rule him out today, it could go down to game time. And I would guess that it would make more sense for him.
He's on a treadmill in inside the facility, getting his conditioning. That's what he does. Or something, or not a treadmill, but one of those ellipticals. Since he's got the toe issue, it's probably more of an elliptical, or maybe the pool or something. They got ways. They have ways.
Yes,
they have ways.
Yes, they got a whole inside facility. He's rehabbing with the trainers. He could be throwing speed or heavy bags or heavy balls.
Be sliding down the slide and then walking back up the ladder and then sliding back down again. And
all kinds.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would be doing all day in that place. Just sliding.
It's amazing. I missed my opportunity to slide down when they did the tour, but it's pretty cool.
You can't sneak in there now to go get a little slide action? Come on.
I don't think so. I think I would be stunned or something.
You can't tell them Cam Wolfe, NFL Network. Boom. Walk in. That's it. Cam Wolfe, NFL Network.
That not get you as far as you would think.
No? I thought that. Aren't you like part owner of the facility now since you're with the NFL Network? Like,
I am,
they didn't write you into the deed.
I was like, if I am, I'm missing some checks.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what do they? You're promoting them constantly. They got to give you a piece of the pie, there, bro.
I know. I need you to be my agent. These are things that I completely agree with, right?
Yeah, you need some proper representation. Come on.
Right. But my thought is I would not count Teron Armstead out. I know it would be shocking to see him with a strained pec play this Sunday, but I got an odd feeling he's going to try to push and make it work. So, it's going to be interesting because Eric Armstead, who plays for the 49ers, he's been out since week 4. He has been trending towards returning this week. And so we could have no Armsteads, one Armstead, or two Armsteads this Sunday. And they're both going to have a big factor in the trench play. So to me, I would take 50-60% Armstead over whatever the second option is, as long as I know that he can't make it worse. I wouldn't want him to go in there and, try to play for a few snaps and all of a sudden it's fully torn and he's out for the year. But that's a doctor and team question more than it's a Tehran question.
By the way, has the NFL Network put you on Antonio Brown watch? I mean, they went over to Tampa. They're trying to serve that warrant. Maybe it's, hey, Cam, why don't you take a car ride over to Tampa and maybe they have you serve Antonio Brown the warrant. How about that? Would you like that job?
No, thank you. No, thank you. I did 3 days of a full day Antonio Brown coverage when I was at ESPN. The last time there was like a police trying to get him out of his house deal in Hollywood, and all day I was on Sports Center after Sports Center. Antonio Brown's still in his house. I think I just saw him drive by. The police have a megaphone. No, I am not doing any of that. I reported the arrest warrant, and I am stepping away from the topic. I want nothing more to do with the Antonio Brown.
I think most NFL reporters, and whatever city you're in that he happens to be at, and this happens to be Tampa, like Jenna Lane, she must be so freaking happy that he's no longer in the NFL. So you don't have to cover that stupid story. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just news covering that story. It's
Right.
really not sports covering that. Sports is just piggyback off of news and just saying, oh, this is what's going on with former NFL player Antonio Brown, but they don't literally have to cover it. So they've got to be really happy. Now, another guy that may not be happy is Mac Jones. Throw the effing ball, bro. Throw the effing ball. And listen, last night I was, some Dolphin fans were like, oh, I don't know. I can't root for the Patriots. I'm like, dude, you got to root for the Patriots. Because somehow if they can beat the Bills, they're really not a threat anyway. And, because the way I look at it, Tua is 4-0 against the guy in the last 4 games. Mike McDaniel now and that team are way better than the Patriots at this point in time. So you just wanted to see if the Patriots could get lucky yesterday and the ball could bounce their way a couple of times. But, man, you watch that offense, you watch that team, and it's, they still have players on defense. They can still play some defense. But that offense, and let me tell you, the Ramondre Stevenson kid, I love him, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that
he's
kid's
awesome.
a player.
He runs hard.
He's a player, dude. Love that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good pick.
He's probably, to me, the best player they have on their offense.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if what I was making was any kind of statement, but, I always laugh. And I know Dolphins kick out of it. But Mac Jones was number 85 on the best players in the NFL list after his rookie season. And I would guarantee a large sum of money he will be unranked this upcoming year. And so a lot of people might have thought that Mac Jones was their best player, their face of the team, particularly on offense. No, it's Ramondre Stevenson. And, they've got a lot of issues, man. Matt Patricia, hiring him has been it's been exactly what we thought it was going to be. Like we talked about
that's not Matt's fault. That's Belichick's fault. That's stupid on his part to think. The problem is that when you think you can do everything and you're the puppeteer of all your coaches, and that's really what goes on in that place. So then I'll just bring him in, but I'll puppeteer his offense, and then he'll be able to go ahead and do. And that's just bad planning on Bill's part. That's
right.
But they are literally zero threat now to the Bills or the Dolphins for that division.
It's a 2-man race. I mean, I guess the Jets are still kind of lingering in it, but I think it's the Bills and the Dolphins. I mean, unless one or both teams collapse over the second half, I think that AFC East title game is probably that December 18th game in Buffalo. The Dolphins still have a win, so there's a way for them to, if they lose that game, still win if they're, if they have a better division record or if they end up one game. But to me, if the Dolphins win that game in Buffalo, it'd be hard for them to lose the division.
That's right. And listen, Cam, the good thing about this is you missed the Buffalo trip the first go around a couple weeks ago.
It's going to get one way or the other.
You're getting your chance now.
I can't escape. You can try to run from Buffalo, but you can't hide from Buffalo.
Nope. You tried to hide, and then they sent you to Detroit.
Yeah,
which it's just like
Which
like
Detroit was cold too, but they are
but it's not the consolation prize you want. You know what I'm saying? Not the consolation prize.
No, if it was like, hey, we'll send you to New York City instead of Buffalo, then I would be like, hey, okay, I'll do it. I'll take it. But
that's like saying, hey, listen, you don't have to hang out with Kanye. Just hang out with Alex Jones. What? Come on. What are you doing to me? That kind of a. But see, that's just want you to know you're not escaping Buffalo. I just want you to know that. I just want to give you a heads up that in a couple of weeks you'll get the call and you'll say, we need Jim Buffalo.
Yeah, I already know. Think about it. It's not going to be snowing. Hopefully not as much, but it's going to be even colder. Right before the week before Christmas, I am going to be. I'm telling you. Usually, when I get in the city, I like to explore and do different things, and I am going to be from hotel room. I may go to one wing spot, get some wings, get some beer, and then head back to my hotel room and stay there to the last minute I have to leave for the game. Do the game, get back to my hotel room, and stay there until I have to get on the flight.
That's the funny shit that people don't realize, that when we do travel for all these kind of things, we're really not doing any touristy shit. We're really not seeing. It doesn't matter where you go and what you're covering, even if it's sunny or if it's snowy or whatever the hell it is. You're so tied up with work and press conferences and this, that you really don't have it. You're popping in and you're popping out, dude. You really don't get into the cities you go.
One year, I think in Buffalo, I went to Niagara Falls and I spent like 20 minutes out there. It was like, this is very cool, but it is cold as hell. Bye. And I left. And that's probably the extent of tourism that I will do on in Buffalo or really anywhere.
Well, by the way, but you know what? I think during Christmas time, the falls are pretty cool because they light it up and stuff.
Really?
So that might be something to see, dude. Actually, during the time you go.
Not if it's cold.
Well, no, I know. I'm with you, bro. I only like sleeping in the cold, but like actually like moving around and living in the cold. Oh, dude, I can't.
No.
I saw that video the other day that guy was like shoveling his entire walkway up onto the sidewalk, and then he does his sidewalk, and then you look entire, and it's like 6-foot walls of snow, and it's just sidewalks because everybody had to shovel everything out of the way so you can walk. And I'm like, oh my God, no, I can't do this. I wouldn't be able to do this, dude.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy. All right, what's the prediction? What do you think happens on Sunday?
Oh man, I think it's going to be a really close one. I'm going to be at a great game, by the way. I'm going to be at Burrow Mahomes, but I'm going to be watching that game very closely across the screen. I think the Dolphins game starts at 4. My game starts at 4:05, so I think the Dolphins will end just a tad early. But I'm going to try my best to keep up with both of them at the same time. But give me 24-20 Dolphins. I think the Dolphins out there. I think that we see a Tua game-winning drive as they're down by 3 in the fourth quarter. He leads them back, throws a game-winning touchdown pass to Jalen Waddle.
That's beautiful. I love it.
Yep,
I love it. That would be fun. Be a nice, fun post-game show too, if that ends up happening. All right, man.
Yeah.
Enjoy your game, my brother, because you're going to see. Obviously, we got a lot of good games actually this week.
This is a great week for football. This is probably the best slate that we've had. And I know Dolphins are going to say, well, none of them were in prime time. We got to see Cowboys Colts on prime time. Well, that's true. But enjoy the slate. Enjoy the slate. It's great ones. I mean, Eagles Titans would normally be a best game in many weeks. It's probably the third or fourth best game this week, which is wild. And so, great week of football.
Yeah, if they actually had like a real quarterback, then that would be a really sexy matchup. But it's really like the quarterback against the running back. It's
right.
Kind of
different styles for sure. But the Titans, the thing I love about the Titans is, regardless of whatever Ryan's handheld, they always play big in these games that, they aren't the quote unquote team. Like when they play the Chiefs every year, they always give them work. The Bills every year, the Titans always figure out how to way to get them some type of work, except this year. But in previous years, they were, and so heck yeah, and so I think they'll give the Eagles everything they can handle. We'll see who wins, but yeah, that game, the Chiefs Bengals, those guys have been talking trash all week through social media, through media, calling people out, and so. Yeah, man, this is, I have to work it, but this is a week. If you're a fan, just stay on the couch all Sunday. Tell your wife we're going to do errands later. We're going to put up the Christmas tree and the lights later because I'm not moving from the couch.
I guarantee you this: the day Vrabel gets a real franchise quarterback, he wins a title for the Titans. Guarantee you that.
I believe it.
Guarantee you that when he gets a franchise quarterback that can make the plays he needs, he knows how to build the rest of the team. It's just the same shit as always. Everybody's got to find a damn quarterback, and it's just not easy to find that guy, you know, that can just make those plays, man, all the time. It's hard, man. All right, be safe in your travels, my friend. Just be glad you're not going to Buffalo. Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolfe and catch his exceptional work there at the NFL Network. We will catch up with you next week, my friend. Thank you.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
You got it. There you go, Cameron Wolfe. We have unleashed the Wolf Pack.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolfe. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right, Sean, we don't have the big Cash App. I don't think we're going to San Diego. Oh, I'm sorry, Los Angeles. So, can't cover the Chargers game, Sean. Sorry. Let's see. Oh, can you ask him about our D-line versus the... Oh, I'm sorry, man. Missed that after. Brooklyn Rob, ESPN ran that Tua injury for a week straight, talking about people needing to be fired. Now their analysts laugh at the idea of having him a career-ending injury. I know it's just... You know, and I talked about that yesterday, Brooklyn Rob. It's, like I said, it's a defense mechanism when you're wrong. And when you're not, you know, you're not smart enough or intelligent enough to just comprehend what's going on and just say, you know, I'm wrong, dude. This kid's a really good player, and I didn't read it right. Instead, well, let me go to some deep place, dark place, so I can try to justify, because, see, you hope he gets injured and he's out and he's done. And that way you can say, well, I don't care if I was wrong. See, he was a sack of injuries anyways. He's going to break down. So it doesn't matter if I was wrong about this. He wasn't going to be able to play anyways because of the injuries. And then that'll make them feel better about their terrible prediction about him not being able to play or whatever. That's, you know, it's just some kind of psychological game they're playing, some child's psychological game that they're playing with themselves. Basically, you know, so that's really what it is. Anthony Campos, Big O, it's amazing. I found some old classic games on YouTube of each era, great quality. I get to see all eras, truly a blessing. There's nothing like YouTube, man. YouTube is just absolutely awesome. OJ's Catch 81 Foundation has their annual toy drive for underprivileged kids that starts next week. Yeah, you see, that's what I'm talking about. OJ's been doing it for years. That's why I mentioned those kind of people that play here and then stayed here. Those are the ones that are going to make the biggest impact because they have, you know, entrenched themselves in our community. The players that do a lot of stuff, but then they leave, yeah, it's great that they did this stuff, but long term, they're not going to make the same kind of an impact that an Alonzo Mourning, a Dan Marino, an OJ McDuffie are going to do because they've been around for decades now, you know. So I get it. All right, let's get ready for hour number 2. And when we come back for hour number 2, we are going to start off with Manny Navarro and our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time. There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you... Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
For over 16 years, EJD Construction... For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
I'm feeling great. Oh, just got myself a haircut. Gonna go get a massage later. The off season has started for Manny Navarro.
I like it. You fought with a weed eater and you lost.
I did.
I like it.
I did.
I like it.
I did.
All right. So I want to ask you something because we're watching Mike McDaniel take over, and he's a different kind of coach. We watched Spo, and he's different than Pat Riley. And things have changed in life. People have changed. And I realize also myself in my experiences with 12-10 and with Onside, having to hire and deal with younger people, it's a different breed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you've got to be maybe a different way of teaching and those kind of things. So I'll give you a quote from Mario Cristobal to Joe Zagacki in the Hurricane Hotline. It says, we have to make sure every single person is on board. If you start matching high achievers with low achievers or pretenders or guys that are not real, it won't work. As a player, I couldn't stand being beside those guys, those kind of guys. I like telling the team all the time, I get along great with hardworking, tough son of a guns that want to be awesome. We want to make sure we're loaded with the right kind of talent and people. So I get in general, he is 1,000% right. But the approach, is it that hard line approach? Is that the right way with today's kids? I don't know, you tell me, does it sound like the right plan in today's world, and can it be achieved?
Oh, it's really hard to say because I think there are guys who take an old school approach, right? Nick Saban has done that for a long time. He's an old school guy. But I think he's also adapted with the times too. I guess you'd have to look at Greg Popovich with the Spurs, right? He has his way of handling things. He's been around for a long time at this. He's going through his struggles now, right? Bill Belichick had Tom Brady by his side for a long time. He had his ways, Belichickian way of success. I think you do have to adapt with the times, but at the same time, I think you do have to have some core principles, core culture principles that you stick to. And I think what we all have to remember here, at least when it comes to the University of Miami, is whatever culture was in place for the last 20 years, that's not it. So
no.
I think that's the number one thing people have to think about, because I know there's a lot of comparison, right? It's like, well, Manny Diaz won 7-5 with these guys. And I'm like, 7-5 sucks.
Yeah.
It's not what you want to be.
I just think what they're trying to tell you is Manny sucked and he went 7-5. How can this guy win 5 games? You know what I'm saying? And so they're expecting you to win 7 or 8 games with the same kind of talent if you're a better coaching staff. And unfortunately, the optics are you did a shittier job than Manny Diaz. And they're
not wrong.
Mario Cristobal has to live with, unfortunately.
No, and they're not wrong. Those criticisms are fair. He did do a crappier job than the guy before him.
No. Hold on a second. Mario Cristobal owns the crappiest job ever in Miami Hurricanes history. Let's be straight on that. As much as I like Mario, as much as I'm rooting for him, in the 50 years of me watching Hurricanes football, I have never seen a worse program ever than the one I watched this year. So Mario owns that.
2007 was pretty bad too. They were 5-7 that year also. And you go back and you look at those games down the stretch, they had no offense whatsoever. It was very similar actually, if you go back. But I've lived that, many times over in my head, and that's why it's fresh. But look, you can't defend what happened this season. But I've spent a lot of time talking to people in the last couple of days whose players are at Miami. Okay, people who coach these kids at the high school level, just to get some insight into what went wrong, what's the issue. I think fundamentally, some of the assistant coaches that are there on that staff, it's not just Mario, it's some of the people he hired to carry out what he wanted done. And I think in some ways, the support system that those kids came from weren't ready to deal with Mario's approach and the approach of his assistants. They just weren't ready to deal with it. Like, it's not just the kids, it's the adults who I'm hearing this from, right? Like, they're watching their former kids go to Miami, and they're hearing from them, and what they're hearing, they don't like, because it's not a very lovable, friendly approach. It's not, hey, we're going to kiss your ass, and you're the greatest thing. No, those guys came in here, and they're like, no, you guys suck.
Right.
And we're not, and we don't want you here. We don't think you're good enough for Miami. And so that's where that battle ultimately was lost for Mario, is that their coaches came in here with the idea that, okay, we're going to give them tough love and maybe the kids will respond positively. That's not what happened. It went completely in the other direction. And so now that's why you have to have a major shakeup with your roster. That's why you have to have probably a shakeup with your coaching staff too, because maybe some guys just aren't the right fit here either. So either way, Mario signed a 10-year contract. He's got a lot of time to fix this. He's under no pressure. In all honesty, he's under no pressure. You could sit here and say, well, he's getting $80 million.
Zero.
There's zero pressure because he's got a contract for 10 years.
What he's under is criticism, not pressure.
Right. And that's an entirely different animal. Right. And I would venture to say that that's a lot easier to coach in that world if you're a guy like Mario who doesn't give a shit about the criticism. And I think he doesn't. I think he sees this as, I've got to do this my way. And whether or not that works, I don't know. I don't have the answer for you. I do know this. These are the facts. Miami has a much bigger football budget than it ever had. They've got NIL dollars. And to me, those things matter in today's game.
Oh, yeah.
So people say, oh, Mario, look at his record. He's a 500 coach when you add up what he did at FIU and Oregon. And so what if he recruits? He can't make the players better. And look at the coordinators he hires. Those guys suck. And I hear all of that. But I also turn around and say, well, this is what he's got going for him. He's got one of the most talent-rich areas in the country, right, to get players from. He's got NIL dollars to work with. He's got the transfer portal. So let's see what happens. Let's give him a little bit of time here to operate and see whether or not his plan works out. If by year 3 we don't see any improvement, it's pretty much going to be a failure, in my mind. So he's got 2 years. He's got 2 years to show us what he's got.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He's got to, after year 3, he's got to really show that he's making a big time difference. By the way, he was 29-25 at Oklahoma State. Jimmy Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case for the people who say he's a 500 coach. 29-25. That's what we said about Jimmy Johnson also.
Right.
By the way, and he did a decent job. So
look, Mario's approach of recruiting size, recruiting big guys, that's important in today's game. If you're going to look like Georgia and Alabama, you got to look like Georgia and Alabama. You got to have guys that play the part. And let's face it, there's some guys at Miami for the last few years, and the NFL agrees, that aren't Miami guys. Ed Orgeron was here.
The draft says it all. Right. You're
Ed Orgeron was here when Miami was great, okay? When they were winning championships, when they were at their peak. He was at LSU when they had the machine in 2019. He came here, watched the first day of practice, and the first thing he told our Bruce Feldman when he was leaving was, man, the talent is average. This is not the Miami I remember. And that was before they played a game. That was back when everybody was picking them to win the Coastal Division. Right. So these guys know what it's supposed to look like. And that's what they thought of this roster. So to everybody who's freaking out because, he went 5-7, well, find me a coach. Would you have been happy if Manny Diaz came back and they went 8-4? Would you be happy with that?
It's not so much the 5-7. It's how you went 5-7. It's how you got your asses kicked by Middle Tennessee State.
You did because the kids didn't want to play for you.
Well, whatever. I mean, but that's your fault too as coaching staff. Mm-hmm. That's your fault. You know what I mean? That's you had to get more out of the kid, and you couldn't because you went with a hardline approach, and it didn't work out for you. And who knows? Maybe you get a little bit more out of massaging, and then at the end of the year, you say, "Yeah, hey, listen, we had to massage you too much. You need to go," and then you can move on. You can make your difference that way. You know what I mean? But
I would venture to say the biggest mistake they made was thinking they were going to be able to run the football at the beginning of the year, the power running game that they were hoping to sort of establish. I felt like when they lost to Texas A&M, they lost Zion Nelson, number one. And number two,
who is Zion Nelson? By the way, who is Zion Nelson?
Well, he was your best offensive tackle. He was going into this year.
How much has he played?
He played the first 2 years.
But he missed time then too, right?
No, at the end of the year, it wasn't significant. The significant injury was this year. He missed some camp in his second season, but he was back and he played. Look, the point is, he was a 3-year starter for you. Again, what I'm trying to get at is, it felt like once they lost a Texas A&M game, and then they realized, oh shit, we're not a power running team. We need Tyler Van Dyke to throw. It was too late. You lost your best lineman.
That's bad coaching. That's bad.
Yes,
coaching.
So that
we're not assessing your talent the right way.
Yeah, correct. But I think if Manny Diaz was coach, all right, do they beat Middle Tennessee State? Probably because they have the same sort of offensive system.
Do you have Lashley? Yes. If you don't have Lashley, no.
Well, yeah. I mean, we could play the what if game. What to me, what would have happened if Manny Diaz was still here and you still had Rhett Lashley? Would they have been that much better this year?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's about having another coach. I don't think it's any of that. I just think the problem with Mario this year for himself is that it came in with a lot more hype. It came in with a lot more expectation. And you also were expecting better football, and you didn't get that. And that's the problem, that you thought, okay, well, wait a minute. We understand you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit. But, dude, at least make some kind of a salad there for us. Make it look half decent. And he made un picadillo que está, like terrible. And it's got all kinds of grasa, and it's really bad. And so
I'm not arguing that. I guess my bigger question is, even if they had taken the right approach, right? Let's say they came out and they said, no, we're not going to be a power running team. We're going to throw the ball with Tyler. Okay, maybe they beat Texas A&M. They beat Middle Tennessee State. I don't know.
Now you're at least feeling like, all right, well, they go into a bowl game. They won. There isn't much talent on this team. You did all right. 5 wins and some embarrassing losses along the way against some really bad teams. That it's just that it's
no. It leaves. You're right. It leaves a bad taste in your mouth. I'm not arguing. I guess my bigger thing is, even if things had gone right.
Talking about the tough son of a bitch that he's talking about is Javon Holland.
Right.
I'm watching it in the NFL level. He's the only guy left standing with no injuries. Okay. Even X has been dealing with 2 growing injuries. Everybody else is broken down. And there's Javon Holland on games on short weeks, playing 90, 100 plays or whatever. So I get the tough son of a bitch he's looking for, because we got him here with the Miami Dolphins. So I get what he's looking for. It's just optics for him. Now that put it this way, he has now made the perception of turning around the program a little harder because he came in and underachieved. And so then that's the optics, that's the perception of the program right now. And now that's why you have a lot of people questioning Mario. I'm not saying that I question Mario. I think long-term he'll be fine. But short-term, none of this shit can be defended, unfortunately.
No,
I have no explanation for any of this, unfortunately. And that's my problem with it.
I mean, look, this is just my opinion. I think it's almost better that it was exposed this way, that this is how bad the locker room is, than for them to have gone 8-4 and people to have some false sense of, well, look, things aren't that bad. They're going to be. I'd rather just rip the Band-Aid off, get all the cancer out, and just say, hey, we're starting over with a new group of kids. Yeah. Because the old group of kids, they showed you what they were the last couple of years.
Right.
So
Greer did that in 2019. He gutted everything, and he started completely from scratch with Flo. And they tore that team down to the bone and got rid of every bad contract and everything else, and then moved on. Yeah. So you're right. And that was the equivalent of that.
Yeah. And I think as long as they come back next year and show you that the kids that they did get here, right, the freshman class, the Inez Coopers of the world, and the, Trevante Citizens and Wesley Besainth and Jaleel Skinner, if all those guys in year 2 start to take off and do this, and all of a sudden, you've got something building this way, then I don't think anybody's going to give a shit about 5-7.
I agree. By the way, they continue to snatch up some stuff. What'd they pick up here this week?
Yes, they picked up a defensive lineman out of California, Collins Achimpong, who's another one of these ridiculously sized guys, 6'7", 254.
Notice how I just said they picked up somebody, because I didn't want to pronounce his ass. I mean, geez, it's like Alzheimer's or something. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, he's African native. I think he hasn't seen his mother in over 4 years. He came to the United States basically to play sports and get to college and make the pros. Was committed to Michigan. I think that was Michigan's number 2 recruit in terms of where he was ranked. Big time kid, just body wise. Hasn't played a lot of football. Played in 2019, and then this year he only played 3 games before he tore his knee up. But hell of an athlete. Can jump out of the building. Has tremendous athleticism. the kind of raw, big body talent that Mario loves. And we'll see how they mold him. I mean, he's got to be coached up, but he's got a lot of the ingredients you like. He's a hardworking kid. He showed you his toughness. Came here, has basically been living with an American family for 4 years to try to improve his life. And so I like the DNA, the DNA right there. I think all of that is good. They're looking to flip another kid, Joshua Horton, another big body defensive lineman, 6'5", 280s, a kid committed to North Carolina, a 3-star. I kind of like this whole thing of screw the 5 stars and 4 stars. Oh, I like the hungry three. Give me a big bodied hungry 3-star, and if you can coach him up and to turn him into something, I like that more than the kids who come in here with the arrogant, I'm the best, I'm rated this and this. We've seen those guys here already.
Right.
So give me the big bodied kids. And let's see what they can do.
Ed Reed was like a 2 or 3-star, right? Yeah.
2-star in Louisiana.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot harder to hide nowadays.
Right.
But
but also there's a lot of guys that are overgraded too. That's the thing. So
that's the bigger issue. That's the bigger issue. I always try to tell people if it's a top 100 guy, odds are really good. The guy's a really good player. They're not going to miss the top 100. But if you tell me he's number 400, to me, there's no difference between him and number 800 or number 1,000, except that he got more attention because he went to a couple of camps,
Right.
So,
right.
Mom
and dad had a couple extra bucks to put him on the road.
Mom and dad or his handler or whoever wants to collect some money off the kid had the few extra bucks to help put him on a bus and take him to Alabama, Georgia, whatever other showcase he had to go to help his ranking.
All right, what else you got going on in the athletics so Hurricane fans can check you out this week? And
yeah, we're gonna have a recruiting confidential coming out here. It was one of my favorite series that we did last year. We did it state by state. This year we're doing it by conference, and so I've been talking to a few South Florida coaches, getting some input on Miami's recruiting efforts, and then the whole conference. How who's really doing a good job, and had some interesting conversations here in the last couple of days with some coaches and people around programs. So that'll be coming out here in the month of December. We'll have plenty of recruiting coverage. Signing days on the 21st. The transfer portal opens on the 5th. So we'll have some action, I'm sure, going on. And then, whatever happens with the coaching staff, I think we're going to see some changes. I don't know. We're going to see changes across the board, but we'll see some.
I forgot. I was going to ask you that. Wouldn't there have already been coaching changes already? It takes this long. Usually season ends, you want to get rid of somebody and you move on, or is it in college where you're first trying to find out if somebody's available before you fire the guy you got? I don't know how it works. You tell me.
I think it's that. I also think it's image, right? I mean, Mario Cristobal has the most expensive coaching staff in the ACC. We've reported that. We've said that multiple times. How does it look as a leader if he's firing guys that he spent a lot of time searching for and settling on, and then he fires them after 1 year? It looks a lot better when they leave for new jobs, doesn't it, O?
Yeah. No, it does. It looks a lot better when they leave for new jobs. But okay. All right. So it still could be going on, is what you're saying.
I would say people need to be patient because Mario clearly is never in a rush to do anything when it comes to his coaching staff. I think we learned that last year, right? While we were waiting for him to hire an offensive and defensive coordinator and assistant coaches. Mm-hmm. So, and I would also venture to say, keep that in the back of your mind. This is Manny Navarro's advice. It doesn't make Mario look good to fire guys. He probably wants him to go get hired somewhere else. So there you go.
Okay. Makes sense. All right. Follow him on Twitter so you can get that kind of insight. And also, you better sign up for The Athletic. Subscribe, baby. They always got great deals going on. Plus, you get coverage nationally on everything, even international soccer. And you can find out about everything in the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, kinds of stuff there at The Athletic. And, of course, on Twitter, Manny_Navarro. Manny, appreciate you. Have a great weekend, my friend. Thank you.
All right, brother. Take care. Talk to you soon.
There you go. The great Manny Navarro, baby. That is our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CS, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All right. There we go. What do we have here? All right. Yes. If you want to get in, by the way, on the Welt and Rayom text line, that's 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056 on the Welt and Rayom text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Sean, still no Cash App or Venmo from our friend. What was this gentleman's name? Let me see. Don Gabriel. Would you consider coming to LA for the Chargers game? Not yet, Don Gabriel. I have not gotten your Cash App or Venmo so we can go to the Chargers game. But if you guys want to send us to the Chargers game, you can go ahead, Cash App or Venmo. Send us $2,000. I think we'll cover it all. Flights, airlines, short notice, right? Probably going to be like $400 or $500 a ticket. And hotel. So $2,000. I probably can do it all for $2,000. There you go. You want us to cover the Chargers game? Cash App or Venmo, send $2,000. Let's see. Let's go. I don't know, Sean, if you saw it on Twitter the other day. It's like a week ago. Some guy goes to me, and I've been having issues with my voice because I'm on 7 days a week doing Canes and everything. Now we don't have the Canes, so I'm off that. I'm off the Tuesday night show also, so the voice is resting a little bit more. And he doesn't know, probably doesn't even realize I had a polyp in my throat where I couldn't talk for a week because I had a throat operation, all that. So, I'm in the middle of my voice being sore and all that stuff, right? So the guy goes to me, would you consider doing an in-game broadcast? So while the football game's going on, he wants me to be talking about the game. And I go, sure. Just give me $3,000 and I'll do it. Never heard from the guy again. I love you folks out there, brother. It's like you think I do this as a hobby or something? This is a business. It's not a hobby. It's always really cute. Can you do this? Can you do that? Yeah. You want to pay for it? What do you think? You think I work for free? You think daddy left me an inheritance? You think I'm a former football player? It's got millions in the bank or something? I'm doing this for fun? No, we do this for a living. We're professionals. Okay. All right. That's the difference. But there you go. Brian Doherty, $2,000. That's right. That's it. How much for Levi? No, I can't go this weekend. I can't, unfortunately, Brian. I can't. I have a commitment tonight that I have to do. No, actually, I could fly out for Levi. But dude, I could not get up. The plane ticket would be incredibly expensive right now. I mean, I would do it. I would actually, since I got to do my Friday night thing. I could fly out Saturday for it, but that would be crazy. No, it's better the next week. That one, Brian, I know you're not going to do it anyway, but no. The Levi one is a little crazy. We got to do the Chargers one. Okay, that would be more, more what's it called? More realistic. You know what I'm saying? I really would have liked to cover the event tomorrow. That would have been really cool to go over and hang out with the Dolphin fan base and the Niners too. And hang out with the Marx brothers and get them all on the show and have some fun. And there it is right there. Mission Peak Sports Complex, Saturday, tomorrow, December 3rd, 4020 Technology Place, Fremont, California. There you go. It's the Fan Zone Meet the Legends. We've been promoting this for the last 2 weeks, so check it out. Props for all the work you put in, Big O or Big E. Hardest working caster in the business. Thank you. Thank you. Frankie says, I'm down to go to CCW with Sean and Big O and Hialeah tomorrow. Oh, we got some wrestling tomorrow, Sean? There's something locally going on? Oh, yeah? Okay. I got to go catch Jack Black and Muse. There's one more band I want to see tomorrow. There's 3 bands tomorrow that I want to see. Muse, Jack Black, one more band. Outside of that, I'm not interested in anything else. Forgot who it is tomorrow in that beach festival thing. What's it called? Brian Doherty says, let's go. Big game. Piss and rain away. A 30-man Royal Rumble. Is that what it is? Are you going to that, Sean, tomorrow? Are you going to that thing? Oh, okay, he's not. All right. Greetings from the land of nuts and flakes and the place that Tua will conquer all over the next 2 weeks. California. Big O, did you hear the story about 20 years ago about Dan helping a crazed animal lover find our mascot and rout out police corruption? No, I don't know anything about that. At least I don't remember a story like that. Maybe if it's given to me a little bit more of the information, it might just kind of, bring it up. Great weekend for college football. Looking forward to UCF AAC title and a bid to another NY6 bowl game. There you go. Little UCF action, baby. Sean, I'm checking. Nope. Money's not there, Sean. We're not going to Los Angeles. Sorry, bro. I thought maybe there's a chance we can go catch the Dolphins and the Chargers next weekend, but I'd love to be there in person. Oh, that would be so much fun. Watching Tua burn Justin Herbert. Oh, that would be cool. That would be really, really cool. That would be maybe a couple years from now, that maybe we have the amount of sponsors that we can do some of the home games in bars, but maybe the road games, we actually go on the road and cover them. That would be actually really, really cool if we can do something like that. But, of course, with all of that comes, a commitment so we can take it to another level. Radio host says, I'm front row end zone for the Chargers game. Nice. Good for you, dude. Good for you. The Ace Ventura. Now you got me. Okay. My dumb ass didn't get that one. All right, let's do it, baby. Let's get into a little hijinks with Joe Schad.
Dolphins fans, it's time to talk to the man with incredibly high standards. It's not easy to score an A or grade 10 out of 10 with this guy. In fact, he isn't impressed with Joey Chestnut's dominance, Usain Bolt's speed, or even Van Ginkel's locks. Will the hijinks continue? Can the Miami Dolphins do the impossible by getting a passing grade with Joe Schad? It's time for the Hijinks Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Report. This report is brought to you by Hijinks Sports Grill in Boca at 133 Southeast Meisner Boulevard. Enjoy happy hour 4 to 7 p.m. Reserve a VIP table online and receive 1 free sparkling wine. Follow them on Instagram at Hijinks Sports Grill. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Joe Schad.
All right. You haven't seen him all week. He hasn't been on the platform because he'll be on today and then post-game on Sunday. But I was hanging out with him on Tuesday at Hijinks while we watched the USA defeat Ireland in the World Cup and advance to the knockout round. Iran knock out Iran in the World Cup and move on. By the way, that was a great atmosphere at Hijinks, Joe. That was a lot of fun, dude.
It was a good time, and you finally got to taste the wings that I've spoken about for so long, the honey sriracha, and you liked it, right?
Oh, I loved them. They were delicious. I'm looking forward to tasting other things now on the menu. By the way, I love how they make their fries too. So that was the other thing I took away from it. And obviously the atmosphere was great. The place was packed. The women are beautiful. That's all I can tell you, man. You know, I'm married and everything. That's fine, but I'm a facilitator of fun. And I'm just telling you fellas out there, you want to go see the best looking sports bar that's out there? That's Hijinks, baby. That's Hijinks right there on Meisner Boulevard. You got to check it out if you're in that Boca area. But that is cool. So now I have a spot to go before and after concerts when I go to Meisner Park for a concert. You ever been to Meisner Park?
Right around the corner.
You never been there for a concert?
No, I mean, I've been over there for like the Christmas tree lighting and all that sort of stuff. Had some dinners over there, but never sat. They sort of renovated it, right?
Yeah. They added a roof and everything. Thank the Lord, because amphitheaters are great, but in South Florida, if you have an amphitheater, dude, I'm sorry, you got to have a roof, man. You got to have a roof. You're not in San Diego or something, or in Arizona. No, you're in South Florida.
It's kind of as dumb as Buffalo building a new like $1 billion stadium without a roof. Like, what are you doing?
Right. Build the roof.
7 feet of snow.
Right. Build the roof while all that crap is going on. And then the day of the game, if it's not so bad, then you open the roof and you let the elements in, and then you take advantage of the elements. But meanwhile, save your stadium and put a roof on it. You're so right. That you should do that in Minnesota. You should do that in some of those places where it gets to a point where it's not safe for people. Then that's when you close the damn thing, overall. But yeah, dude, it's man, Joe.
I guess technically
the pictures of that snow, storm. My God, that was intimidating, dude.
I guess if you have the retractable roof, the problem becomes if it's like, 30 degrees. The fans would like it closed, but the club might feel that it's a competitive advantage to have Tua dealing with the wind and the snow and the ice and all that stuff.
So you open it on game day. You don't allow it. You keep it closed throughout the week so it doesn't build up snow. So you don't have to call people in to clear out the damn thing. And then the day of the game, it starts snowing. You leave it open until it gets to a point where you can't play the game. Then you close it. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. That you can still maintain your elements and your advantage, but what you will do is you will always avoid in the case
to play devil's advocate, the safety and the emergency vehicle.
In this case, the roof didn't matter. In the end, the roof didn't matter because you cannot put 60, 70,000 people to be on the road to go to that stadium and back in those conditions. That would be really stupid. You put your players at risk. You put fans at risk. So in this case, really, the roof stuff is a moot point because it was such a storm.
Maybe they just shouldn't have a team in what's basically Moscow.
Yeah. I would go with that. I think that would make a lot of sense. Let me ask you something. You look at you heard the Jimmy Garoppolo story where he said that the Dolphins had interest. I'm just wondering because I asked Cameron Wolfe this. What do you think was the context of that interest?
I have to be honest. I didn't see that. Is that something new this morning? What's the quote?
Garoppolo. So let me see if I can read.
So did the Dolphins have interest in bringing Garoppolo to the team for this season, according to Garoppolo?
Nothing was speculated on when exactly it was. the way that he was, quoted for all of this.
Well, it was really before this season that
Yes.
the 49ers were trying to trade Garoppolo. So it would have been
Yes.
before this season. And so you say, all right, well, does Jimmy G have an opportunity to compete with Tua? Is he brought in as the clear backup? Listen, clearly Mike McDaniel has a healthy amount of respect for Jimmy Garoppolo. And so it makes sense. He knows the system. What I am interested, though, I did not see the Jimmy G quote. If you have it, let me
Yeah,
know.
I'll get. I'm looking for it now as we speak.
So he
Now,
said
I'll give
on
you-
the record that the Dolphins had interest.
Yeah, but the way
Wow.
he mentioned it, it was kind of you don't really know the context of it, and that's why I wanted to ask you to take your guess, because none of us really know. I'm going to take a guess, and I told Cameron Wolfe this. I think this is where Chris Greer and company are fighting for their GM lives, and they're in the middle of trying to get Flo fired and get that approved to move on. But meanwhile, he's got the owners above him trying to make a move for Tom Brady. And I think that while he's in the middle of trying to make a move for Tom Brady, here is Chris Greer going, well, if we're going to make a move for Tom Brady, because I have no control, the owners want this, that'll be a 1-year thing. Let me see what San Francisco wants for Jimmy G, because they're dying to unload him because of the salary. And maybe I can bring him in, be Tom's backup for a year, and then he can take over.
But what's funny is Jimmy G and Brady weren't tight in New England, right? They were not tight.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with that at this point. I mean,
could be
it's
a little
just
awkward, though.
Yeah, it would be a little awkward, but you're going to be, trade, you're going to end up getting an opportunity finally. Here we go. He says they were in the conversation, Garoppolo told reporters on Thursday regarding the Dolphins. Not much came from it, but they were definitely one of the teams in the conversation. It seemed like a good spot as an offense. That's tremendous. Skill players, everything they've got going there. Mike McDaniel being a great coach. I had been in with him in the past here, and if it was discussed, but I'm glad the way things worked out.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the first thing I think of is, my gosh, what quarterback did the Dolphins not consider bringing in to replace Tua Tagovailoa? I mean, listen, Chris Greer has an obligation to do his due diligence to explore every option, especially at the quarterback position. And so whether it's Deshaun Watson or Tom Brady or Jimmy Garoppolo, you can't blame him for exploring the options. And I'm sure that is what he would say when asked about it. But listen,
I think
can't ignore.
Those are forced explored options. You're making it sound like he was looking to replace Tua. I don't believe that. I believe the coach he hired was looking to replace Tua, and the owners were looking to replace Tua, and then he was trying to, how he plays off of what they want to do. Because again, he's kind of powerless. If the owner wants to go with Flo, then what are you going to do? You're screwed. And you're also going to lose your power too in the process. Or now that Flo's gone, okay, now the owners want to go for Brady. He's screwed too. He's got to do whatever the owners want him to do. So he's kind of in a position where he doesn't have a lot of control on certain things until those dominoes fell. And then when those dominoes fell, he was able to go about and do what he wanted to do.
Well, listen, I mean, it adds to the interesting story here with Tua. Obviously, there's so many different elements and angles, having to overcome a very serious hip injury, having to overcome, a terrible dual offensive coordinator system, sort of similar to what Mac Jones is going through now, having to have a head coach that, didn't inspire confidence in him. And then you just add in the idea that all these other quarterbacks were considered. I think, it'll be a good book one day. I don't know who will write it, but it'll be a good book.
Yeah, maybe Lee Steinberg and Tua will sit down and write about all the crap that one went through and the other guy heard, because I'm sure Steinberg got a lot of that info while all that stuff is being talked about, because the agents usually know what's going on and
Yeah, I
what's
mean,
being
Brady
shot.
and Garoppolo share an agent, Don Yee. So I'm sure
Right.
Don Yee was all involved in that.
Yeah, that's why I kind of think that this whole Garoppolo thing may have been, and then obviously it turns out with McDaniel and all that. So now he says, well, with McDaniel and all those players, like he would have been in that position, which I don't know if he really would have been in that position for a year if Brady really would have, taken the gig here. Although, again, you're going to give up compensation for Brady and for Garoppolo. That's a lot of compensation you're going to give up for two quarterbacks. That would have been a little crazy.
So your theory is that the Dolphins would have added Brady and Garoppolo. I don't know about that.
Yeah, because the Garoppolo one, you're not going to give up a big pick because it was a big salary, at that moment. So I don't know. I don't know how that would have worked out. But either that or it was plan B that you would have to go to Garoppolo if you didn't get Brady because whatever with the whole Tua situation.
Well, listen, if Garoppolo was here this year, do you think he would be top 5 in the NFL in passer rating? I mean, as it is, he's like 8th or something.
He'd do a good job here. There's no doubt. The only thing I wouldn't trust him is in money
injury.
moments. No.
Any
no,
injury. Okay,
no,
injury
no,
too. They've both been injured.
No,
Tua and Jimmy.
Money moments, Joe. I don't give a shit about the injury.
He did lead them to
not
a
a
Super
money
Bowl.
player. He's not a money player. 3rd and 7 and 4th and 22 would have never happened with Jimmy Garoppolo. Never. Not in 100 years, not in 1,000 years. Won't
it would
happen
be interesting
with
to
Tannehill,
know what. Yeah.
Won't happen with him.
McDaniel declined to talk about the Garoppolo Trey Lance situation earlier this year, which makes sense. I mean, he's the Dolphins coach. He doesn't need to publicly comment on this situation. But I do wonder, what he thought about the 49ers decision to spend all that capital, which benefits the Dolphins.
Well, he praised the Trey Lance stuff because that's what he's going to do. But he's not going to tell you what he really feels about Trey Lance, whether he can play or not. He's not going to tell you that. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's interesting. Shanahan said that he questioned how Tua would do in this offense. I mean, I appreciate the honesty. He said that in a press conference this week. And that, of course, he's been very impressed and sold. So, listen, even, people say, oh, well, there were doubters. Well, okay, what about Kyle Shanahan? He's a pretty good source. Like, he's the 49ers coach. He worked with Mike McDaniel. He knows the exact offense. So, okay, lump in Kyle Shanahan, who, by the way, is, I think, close with Chris Sims.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy Johnson didn't believe in Troy Aikman. What do you want me to tell you?
That doesn't make Jimmy Johnson an idiot. It just means he was wrong on that one.
Yeah, he was dead ass wrong on that one. He went and drafted Steve Walsh instead just to cover his ass. And then, Gil Brandt was right. I was wrong. So
all right, listen, I'm obviously at home on my couch, which is fine. Monitor what McDaniel was saying about Armstead. I don't have my Twitter in front of me because I'm on my phone. So you and your producer,
will tell us.
Yeah,
Sean will tell
when
us
he
that
says
he will
if
say
Armstead
nothing.
is out, he's probably going to say it's a game time decision.
Of course,
but let me ask you this. I mean,
and by the way, Shanahan compared Tua, and this is where he lost
Matt Schaub.
Okay, yeah.
But Matt Schaub is a 2-time Pro Bowler who completed nearly 70% of his passes in a couple of seasons.
And couldn't win a game.
We forget that Matt Schaub was very good. But Matt Schaub was talking about some very specific things in terms of how he drops and how he throws the ball.
Not and deliver. Yes. The conviction of the delivery that he says that he's just like Matt, that immediately once he plants, he's throwing, he knows exactly where he's going. And so I guess if you're just going to compare that one characteristic, okay, but please don't compare Matt Schaub to Tua Tagovailoa when Matt Schaub did not win at Virginia the way that guy won at Alabama. And when Matt Schaub wasn't what that guy was in his career. And by the way, Matt Schaub has probably never really played the way Tua has played in certain stretches this year. already as it is.
So Big O, this World Cup stuff is crazy. South Korea is leading Portugal 2-1. All right, you already have teams like Germany and Belgium knocked out. I got 2 points on this.
Cristiano Ronaldo, has he taken off his shirt yet?
I don't know what's going on with that guy. He's like Brady, right? He's like washed up now. So
he might be playing for Saudi Arabia soon. Oh yeah, that's a really nice decision on your. It's like watching Beckham be a mouthpiece for Crap Tar. Like, really, dude, you need the money that badly? Do you have to really?
These guys should go play live golf. They should all go play live golf. So listen, I have a question. After next season, college football playoffs is expanding to 12 teams. I don't like it. I think it's too many teams, cheapens the regular season. But are you going to see these types of upsets where, like Belgium and Germany, and I don't know if Portugal is in jeopardy of being eliminated. If result holds, Portugal wins the group and South Korea advances. That's one of the problems with this format. Portugal doesn't need to win. So it's the team with the motivation that. But my question is, do you think there will be upsets? I think there will be very few upsets when the Tulanes of the world face the Ohio States of the world in the first round.
I agree. I agree with you. Now on the back end of it, now are we doing 1-12, 2-11? Is that how it's going to be?
4 teams get a bye, so it's 5-12.
Okay, so then it'll be 5-12, 6-11.
It's Ohio State Tulane. That's the 5-12.
Right. Yeah, so once we get to the 6-11 and the 7-10 and the 8 and 9, that's where you're going to have
more
your
competitive.
upsets. Yeah. If the top 4 are out, Joe, those aren't the ones that are going to be upsetted. But on the back end of it, sure, they're all kind of the same at that point. So I can.
They're going to put those. Yeah.
I can see those upsetting each other, but they're still going to get planted by the top 4. Basically,
they're going to have to put those first round games at the college campus sites. And the reason is that you'd have a lot of empty seats. I really believe so. Like some of the bowl games, it's just too many games. And honestly, I mean, what a joke. I mean, how many games are you going to make these kids play? I mean, they're not kids. Thank God they're getting the money from car dealerships now, because otherwise, and it is interesting. You have college. This is an interesting one. College players are maybe more likely to stay now because you get the money from the car dealerships and it's all okay. All right. Are the car dealerships and the other sponsors going to be upset if to not get hurt in a bowl game or a first round playoff game, they announce they're not playing? Are the sponsors, and you know a lot about sponsorships, we have all kinds of sponsorships with your shows. Are the sponsors going to say, no, listen, kid, you're playing?
Yeah, they could get pissed. I had a sponsor get pissed on me already once for somebody that missed a whole bunch of weeks, and it was like, yo, no, I'm not sponsoring this. And I was like, okay.
Is that Sean? Does he have the scoop here?
Yeah, I think Sean has some scoopage.
What's the scoop?
Let's go. What you got, Sean?
Everybody knows what the scoop is. Jackson has been ruled out. Teron Armstead will not be ruled out. But he has a family. He wants to play through it. Players are not robots. And then he was asked, is there a plan? And he says, I have plan for the plans.
Thank you, Sean.
There you
Listen,
go.
this is a tough one. You know, listen, on the one hand, Mike McDaniel is a straight shooter. When he told us Austin Jackson is a starting right tackle when healthy, that was a truthful statement. It was not bull. It was truth. I wonder if 49ers week could be any different. He's facing Kyle Shanahan. Everyone knows Nick Bosa against Greg Little is not an ideal matchup. So, Big O, I ask you, in your opinion, and we don't know for sure, in your opinion, is there some gamesmanship here? Is it actually known that Armstead's not playing? In your opinion?
Oh, it's all about gamesmanship here. There's no doubt. And I think there's a slim to no chance that Armstead plays this week. I think they hold him out at least another week or two to try to give it some time to heal. But yeah, I think
you're
this
probably
is all
right.
I think this is all smoke and mirrors where they're trying to just feed that, oh, he's going to try to give it a go. And the thing is, you can get away with it. Why? Because you're talking about the dude that would play actually the following week. that he's played with all kinds of injuries. That's what he is in his entire career. So that's why you can actually get away with it with a guy like this, because it is possible that his crazy ass would do something like that.
The Chargers game and the Bills game are more important. They're AFC opponents. The Bills are obviously a divisional opponent. But Armstead knows this game is very important to Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, Trent Sherfield, Mike McDaniel. They're all important, but Mike definitely wants to put on a good show against his mentor at a stadium in which he coached for the last 5 years, against a coach that he's worked with for 14 years. I don't have any inside information on Armstead. I know he hasn't practiced this week. My gut feeling is there's an 85% chance he does not play. That's my gut feeling. And so Greg Little and Brandon Shell, not ideal. Little at least more comfortable at left tackle, Shell more comfortable at right tackle than vice versa. But a very tough matchup. I mean, what do? Quick passes to Jeff Wilson, a lot of slants and screens to Tyreek and Jalen. It's a very difficult matchup for the Dolphins offensive line. There's a reason the 49ers are favored in this game. It's a really tough matchup.
Yeah, but it's not much. 4 point is nothing. Remember, you get 3 for being at home. So it's not really like they're favoring them that much. And the 49ers' weakness is their corners. That's what you can attack. They're pretty good at safety, but they are not great at corner. And when you got Hill and Waddle, they'll be able to find holes in the defense. I'm pretty confident they'll be able to move. Last year, you had no line, no running game, no coaching staff, and everybody knew the ball was going to Waddle because you had an incredibly stupid offensive staff that also would keep Gesicki on the sideline, and yet the ball still found Waddle over 100 times. Now you've got Waddle and Hill. It's going to be a thrill. It'll be fine. They'll find them. Give me the prediction. What you got? What happens?
Well, I mean, it's hard for me to pick against the 49ers considering the Dolphins' injuries at left tackle and right tackle, and Raheem Mostert is playing.
No, they're not injured at right tackle. No. They got Brandon Shell. They're fine from left guard to right tackle.
He's fine. And defensive end.
Wouldn't you rather have Brandon
safety
Shell than Austin Jackson right now? Wait a minute. Don't you know
Austin
more
Jackson
about Brandon Shell?
Yeah,
In the regular season, have you not seen more success in the last 3 weeks from Brandon Shell than Austin Jackson in 3 years?
Yeah, Shell's done well. I'm okay with him at right tackle.
Okay.
Jackson actually played pretty good before he left with injury. Obviously, injury is a concern there. But listen, it's hard to pick against the 49ers going into this game. McDaniel knows the 49ers defensive personnel. That could be helpful. Maybe something crazy happens. Maybe Bradley Chubb knocks the ball out of Garoppolo's hand. Maybe Jalen Phillips knocks Jimmy Garoppolo out of the game. Who's the Niners backup? I don't even know.
Maybe the force is with Darth Cater and he intercepts Garoppolo a couple times.
Not to jinx it, but I don't think Cater has given up a touchdown in the NFL. This guy's been unbelievable, lights out.
Well, it's time to start getting a couple interceptions now.
I'm going to post a story on the Palm Beach Post website later today, drilling down into the McDaniel-Shanahan relationship and matchup and the commonalities between San Francisco and Miami. So look out for that.
There you go. Follow him on Twitter as Shad Joe. And please subscribe to the Palm Beach Post, man. He does excellent work. All the writers there at the Palm Beach Post, they do excellent work covering your Miami Dolphins. Joe, as always, I appreciate you. We will talk post-game on Sunday, my friend. Thank you.
All right. See you, Big Guy.
You got it. The great Joe Shad. Hijinks is done.
This has been the Hijinks Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Report with Joe Shad. This report is brought to you by Hijinks Sports Grill in Boca at 133 Southeast Meisner Boulevard. Enjoy happy hour from 4 to 7 p.m. Reserve a VIP table online and receive 1 free sparkling wine. Follow them on Instagram at Hijinks Sports Grill.
All right, it's a beautiful thing. You got something for us, Sean?
They asked Mike McDaniel about the left tackle, right tackle position, and he said, I know what you're doing, so go ahead and let them know we've inserted a new package. We're going to have 9 guards.
Yeah, it's because you want us to tell you our game plan. Yeah, we're not going to tell you our game plan. By the way, let me check Cash App or Venmo here if the 2000 has arrived, and we're going to the LA game. Nope, I'm nothing on Cash App. Nothing. Nope, the 2000 aren't there. Nope, Sean, no Los Angeles trip. What can I tell you? Hour number 3, ready to go. You got some fantasy football questions? Let's go. Line them up right now on the YouTube chat board, on the Welt and Rayom text line at 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056 on the Welt and Rayom text line. We will start hour number 3 here. Quick break. And it's the Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone with the one and only Scott Pianowski next.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com. For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. PPR. PPR. Draft. Keeper. Dynasty. It's the Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone with Yahoo Sports' Scott Pianowski. Keep up with your fantasy football teams by visiting any of the 8 great Sports Grill locations. Sports Grill, good food, good drink, good friends. Here's Scott Pianowski.
All righty, there he is. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Yeah, ready. Week 13, big week. Week 14 is a big week, too. 6 teams don't play next week, so make sure you've done some vetting of your roster ahead of time. But fantasy playoffs are just around the corner. We're in December. This is where the money's at, so let's go get it.
That's right. And remember, send in your questions right now on our YouTube chat board. I can get them there now. They won't get lost. And, of course, the easiest way for me to find them is on our Welt and Rayom text line at 855-912-1056. If you're looking for the law firm that's going to fight for you, Welt and Rayom in Hollywood, if you're in South Florida, that's who you want to call. All right. By the way, I would imagine in New England, outside of Ramondre Stevenson, you really don't want to own anybody else, right, in that offense? Holy
yeah, man, what a dead offense. And I'm curious to see what happens if they lose on Thursday. They basically make one play on offense from a guy who isn't really part of their offensive package. There's going to be some kind of reckoning because the players are frustrated. And, there's been a lot of complaining about the scheming. And I don't think Patricia and Judge are good answers at offensive coordinator. But what right plays can you call when everybody on your team is a number 3 or number 4 receiver. You know, I mean, any team would want Jacoby Myers or Hunter Henry as an additional piece. They can't be your front men. This offense has Stevenson, who's terrific. It has Mac Jones, who knows? What's his upside? Maybe Kirk Cousins someday, but he's not there now. And they have a bunch of number 3, number 4 receivers. That 24-10 final score felt very misleading to me. That felt like just a tail kicking.
Yeah. No, I mean, Mac Jones, throw the effing ball. I mean, and listen, I'm sorry, but I just kind of look at him as a pedestrian passer, to be quite honest. I don't really.
But look, I'm not going to make excuses for Mac, but think of any good football team in the NFL. They have an offensive piece that scares you. The Patriots have Ramondre Stevenson, who's a good running back, but I mean, you're not going to, go to the playoffs or the Super Bowl on Ramondre Stevenson's coattails. No. You think of the Vikings, you think of Jefferson. You think of the Eagles, you think of A.J. Brown or Goddard or Jalen Hurts. You think of the Niners, look at all the guys that they have. Obviously, in Miami, you have 2 alpha receivers who scare the pants off defenders. The Patriots don't have that. The Bills have Diggs, who's terrific. Every good team, the Bengals have Burrow and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase coming back this week. The Chiefs obviously have Mahomes and Kelsey. Every good team, even the Titans, are kind of a vanilla team, have Derrick Henry. And I think Traylon Burks is spreading his wings. Here's the theme I want to leave you with for fantasy purposes. Rookie receivers, a lot of times, takes time for the light to go on. It's going on for Burks. It's going on for Christian Watson. I think it's been on for Garrett Wilson most of the time, and Mike White can make that Jets offense better. I'm always curious to see what skill players do their rookie season late in the season when they kind of know their way around a little bit. Traylon Burks is somebody I'm playing proactively this week. You don't need help with Christian Watson. He has 6 touchdowns in 3 weeks. So
right.
You could figure it out with him, even though their quarterback room is kind of a mess right now. But I would like to see Burks finish strongly. They definitely need an alpha receiver. They traded A.J. Brown. They were criticized for doing so. And I don't think it's fair to compare Traylon Burks to A.J. Brown, but he's already the number 1 receiver in that room.
No, but that was a smart move with A.J. Brown. Why? Because you're about to get rid of Tannehill at the end of the year. You're going to move you're going to move over to Malik. Malik needs to develop. So you're not really going anywhere this year anyways as a team. Even with A.J. Brown, you're not a Super Bowl contender because you got the wrong quarterback. And they know it. That's why they drafted Malik. And so why are you going to pay A.J. Brown all this money for the next couple of years when you're not really contending? You're about to turn the team over to a young quarterback and develop him. Go draft Jalen so you can then develop him with your young quarterback. And by the way, my favorite play of his was last week on the fumble where he's there to recover the ball. So it shows me that he's also a heads-up kid, too, at the same time. I agree with you. I think it was a really good move on their part. I think if you're a GM, you had a lot of foresight using that because now's when you trade AJ. He's one of the best receivers. You're going to get compensation. You can get your young receiver to develop with your young quarterback, and then you have also some more capital. It's a super smart move on their part, actually. If you really look at it and you take a step back, that's actually how a general manager is supposed to run their team. And, of course, you got to hit on the next guy. And we're not saying that he's A.J. Brown, but just look at him, bro. He looks the part. He just looks like he can
part. That's it right there. When you draft a receiver in the first round, I want him to be the type of player, if you walked in on practice, you would know immediately who it is. It's that guy. And that's what you say about Burks. He looks the part. You don't think of when the Rams drafted Tavon Austin. You could go to Rams practice and be like, wait a minute, they have a first round receiver here. Which guy is it? I don't see him. Is he sick today? Did he not come in today? Is he in traffic court? What's going on here? You know who Traylon Burks is. He identifies himself, and that's what you need that position. It's a position of alpha. And again, the Dolphins have a embarrassment of riches because Jalen Waddle's the number 1, and so is Tyreek Hill. And there's just so few teams that can throw that at you. I can't wait to see what happens against that Niners defense. It's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, I was just telling Cameron Wolfe this, that when you look at Waddle and you look at Tyreek, of course you got number 1s there. But when you look at Vrabel, at the moment, he doesn't have that quarterback. But if you give him that quarterback, he's such a good coach that I think that's when Tennessee and that front office will win a title, when they get that right quarterback to kind of put everything together. And so we'll find out over the next couple of years if Malik can develop into that guy. But, and look, with Waddle. I got a bunch of people that were criticizing the Waddle pick. Why? Because he was catching a bunch of short passes.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to people, Waddle now has impressed me at another level now. And they're like, well, he looks like a possession receiver. And I go, no, he's not a possession receiver. He can blow the top off the defense. It's just he's not in an offense that can do that right now because there's no time to wait for that at this point in time. When there is this year, you'll see it. But for now, he showed me he can be the tough guy that can move the chains too in those kind of moments, which if you watch Tyreek, he does all kinds of things. A bubble screen, a short pass, he'll fight for the football, he'll blow the top off the defense. That's what you want to find out. Is your guy complete? And Jalen Waddle, for me, last year showed me that he was complete because what he's doing this year doesn't impress me. I saw this all the time in Alabama. What he did last year, that impressed the shit out of me because everybody knew the ball was going to him and you still couldn't stop it because they had no one else to throw. Remember, this coaching staff would keep Gesicki on the bench and play Smythe more than Gesicki. So he wouldn't even put his second best weapon out there as much to help out Tua. That's how crazy it was last year. For me, Waddle showed me even more last year of how good he can be.
Yeah, it's wise to see, even though Devonta Smith was the Heisman Trophy winner, that Waddle was the more complete receiver. And we've seen proof he can run everything in the route tree. You know, he can beat you on every strata of the field. And actually, that's always been an underrated part of Tyreek Hill because I think sometimes when somebody's as fast as Tyreek Hill, they think, oh, he's just running 9 routes all day. Tyreek Hill has unbelievable stop and start skills, and he can win on any part of the field too. And
end arounds, bubble screens, you name it, crossing routes, hooks.
He'll kill you on the crossers. Oh man, will he kill you on the crossers? You just get him the ball and get him the ball where he can catch it and do something after the catch, and then any 5-yard, 10-yard pass can be a touchdown. You know, when I watched Jalen Waddle's scouting tape, CeeDee Lamb was a lot like this too. He'd have these plays where I'd call them, this really goes for a touchdown, where he'd catch the ball like 5 yards from the line of scrimmage in the middle of the field, and then he'd run by 5 defenders and score. Any play can be a touchdown with these guys. And again, it's almost unfair to have 2 of them. You know, every offense would love to have one of them. The Patriots don't have one of these guys. They need one of these guys. You know, the Steelers are hoping that George Pickens can be one of these guys because Deontay Johnson isn't. Chase Claypool wasn't. They're good players. You need guys who, like, the defense is going to have a nightmare all week thinking, how do I stop this guy? And again, you know, Miami has 2 of those guys. You're happy if you have one. Minnesota has one, Justin Jefferson. He totally tilts the whole offense. You know, Kirk Cousins has the worst stats of his career with peak Justin Jefferson. I still don't know how that's possible, but it's true. But, you know, Justin Jefferson, who went behind Jalen Reagor, it just shows you in their drafts so often we don't know anything, right? Imagine taking Jalen Reagor before Jefferson. I know they're teammates. I don't mean to pick on Reagor. You know, the Patriots took N'Keal Harry in that draft that had A.J. Brown, that had Terry McLaurin, that had DK Metcalf and Deebo Samuel and all down the line. You know, the Patriots thought N'Keal Harry was the guy. It's, you know, drafting is hard, man.
Hell yeah. All right, let's get to the fantasy questions. Line them up here on the YouTube chat board or send them in on the Welt and Rayom text line at 855-912-1056. All right, Tua or Geno?
Great question. Geno Smith, 5 straight ratings over 100. I think Geno's a little bit safer because I don't think there's any chance he face plants against the Rams team that may have given up. Donald may not play this week, but Tua's got more upside because he's got, even though I like the Seattle receivers, Miami's got more dynamic playmakers at that position. I lean Tua. I'd be fine with Smith. I think you got 2 winners there.
All right, flex spot. Mostert, Ayuk, Judy, Murray, or Devontae Smith?
Man, a lot of choices. I lean Ayuk. I get the problem in San Francisco that they kind of cannibalize each other. They have too many people. There's one football. At least Garoppolo doesn't run. I mean, imagine if they had a mobile quarterback, things would be splintered even more. But maybe they need their core guys a little bit more this week with the injuries they had in the backfield, and even McCaffrey may not be 100%. I think Ayuk will be – I feel confident he'll either get you yardage or a touchdown and maybe both. He's inside my top 20 at wide receiver.
All right, Deshaun Watson or Tom Brady, or pick one, Cook or Christian Watson?
Is that Dalvin Cook or Christian Watson? I have to play Dalvin Cook. As great as Watson's been, Christian Watson's been. As far as Deshaun goes, and it's no fun to talk about it, but we have to. Guy hasn't played in 2 years. Wide range of outcomes. I know. It's a soft landing going to Houston, who's a horrible team. Although he has the whole circus of the fact that he used to play there and he forced his way out of there. I could see a lot of different outcomes for him. Now, Tom Brady's been no treat, of course. I mean, they didn't look great in Germany. They got a win, and they come back and they play horrible against Cleveland last week. I lean Watson. They're both outside by top 10. I'm not really eager to play either one of them. If Watson scores 24 points, I'll nod and say, oh yeah, he's a really talented guy. If he scores 11 points, I'll nod and say, yeah, he hasn't played in 2 years. He just met his teammates a couple of weeks ago practically. He didn't look good in the preseason for a very small sample. I just want you to appreciate a wide range of outcomes in his first start.
Welton Rayom text line 855-912-1056. Full PPR, I have 3 wide receivers, 2 spots. Zay Jones, Joshua Palmer, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Really, really close. It's weird to think that Zay Jones is the first guy I want to play because just Detroit's such a good matchup. And then I lean Juju. I know they kind of eased him back off the concussion. He didn't get full snaps last week. I would think he's a full go this week, and just the exposure to Patrick Mahomes is a good thing. I'm going to sit Palmer, plus maybe they get Williams back. Keenan Allen, of course, is back for the Chargers, so that hurts Palmer a little bit. All in the same bucket. I will sit Palmer.
Okay. Pierce, Jeff Wilson, Rachaad White, or P. Ryan for my number 2 back this week. And then Kenneth Walker's is number 1.
Man, I'd like to see Walker get a little bit. He's been a little bit boomer bust dependent, but obviously the class of your backfield. I know this is risky. First of all, P. Ryan you would play if Mixon's ruled out. I think Mixon is going to play, so that's going to take P. Ryan out of the equation. If he had the start, I'd be fine with him. I know Pierce hasn't done much the last couple of weeks, and you saw it last week. Miami was ahead 30-0, so they got off the bus. To the point, Tua could have had 500 or 600 yards easy, but they backed off, and I don't blame them for doing so. But I think Pierce will get double-digit touches this week. I think Houston will be competitive. This is kind of Houston's Super Bowl, right? I mean, Watson left town, dumped all over the team. I know not everybody's the same. Rosters turn over in the NFL pretty quickly, but I think Houston will be competitive. Even though Pierce has done nothing the last 2 weeks, the Browns are 31st in run defense. So I'm going to give Pierce a shot here. I get there's no floor. I understand it. I know why you're asking me, Pierce, but I'm going to give him a chance against this Browns running defense, which is very bad.
All right, Welton Rayom text line 855-912-1056. Hurst or Everett?
Tight end's no fun. I'm going to go Hurst. I just see more scoring at that position. I mean, if you have Kelsey, you're great. If you have Andrews, it's been up and down, and everybody else either got hurt or has let you down, or hasn't. I thought Everett was in a great spot last week, and he let me down. I'm going to go Hurst just because I think that game has more scoring potential, and maybe their usage is a little bit more compact than Cincinnati. But this is a chance either one of these guys could get 18 points. 18 yards. I'd love 18 points from them. That may be a whole month of production. I lean Hurst, but it's not with any conviction.
All right, Joey's asking, my roster is stacked. Should I drop Zay Jones or for James Cook? My wide receivers are Hill, Lamb, Judy, and Olave.
Wow. I think I'd want to keep Zay Jones, but I understand with Cook what you're thinking. I mean, he got more touches last night than Singletary, but he still has to deal with Singletary. Josh Allen's going to have games where he runs for touchdowns or runs for 40, 50 yards. I don't think Cook's going to be fantasy playable unless Singletary gets hurt. Of course, Singletary could get hurt, and it's part of the game at running back. But I could do that move. I don't think you have to. Zay Jones is somebody I want on my roster too.
All right. P. Ryan or Ayuk if Mixon does not play.
Yeah, I'll go P. Ryan if he gets to start, but we need to know that definitively. If there's even any uncertainty with that, just play Ayuk.
QB, Herbert, Lawrence, or Watson for this week and or going forward?
Well, you have such good depth there that you have the luxury of not having to force Watson in. And Lawrence is playing the best football of his career. Very inspiring comeback against Baltimore. Look at some of those throws he made. That sideline throw he made to Hasty was just and look at when he releases it and where the play is developed. I mean, the vision, the arm strength. And he gets Detroit now. Who look? I know they're the plucky little Lions. Dan Campbell. We always talk about him. He's great for a soundbite. Their defense can't stop a nosebleed. And I think Jacksonville already has 30 in the bank. So I'm going to play Trevor Lawrence. But I'm glad you have Watson. I mean, look, if he's going to be a good player, I'd rather it be for your roster and not for somebody else. But I don't think you need to play him this week. I wouldn't force it.
All right. Patterson or Pacheco on the Welt and Rayom text line?
I have to go Pacheco. Is the glass half empty or half full? He got all this work last week, 22, 23 carries, something like that. He even had a 17-yard reception. They've been reluctant to use him in the passing game, but only that one touchdown. He got a bunch of work in the red zone. It reminded me of that first CEH game, that Thursday night game, where it's almost like he was the coach's son, wanted to get his son a touchdown. They couldn't get him in the end zone. Pacheco did have one touchdown last week. He could have had a bunch more. But the point is, I think Pacheco can get the 20 touches. The way the Falcons are constituted now, I don't feel that way about Patterson. They're going to play Algier. They're going to run with Mariota some. It kind of looks like a broken offense. You trust Arthur Smith. I don't. So I'm going to lean Pacheco. I get the reservations. Why are they adding Melvin Gordon? How much are they going to play McKinnon? Stuff like that. But he just got 23 touches in an Andy Reid offense. I have to be mindful of that.
Okay. Waddle or Christian Watson?
I'm not sitting Waddle. I mean, embarrassment of riches. Your wallet doesn't fit your hundreds. Maybe we all have problems that are this this much fun, because I think they'll both do well. But I am not sitting. Jalen Waddle is not sitting. I know the Niners defense is great, and D'Amico Ryans is a future head coach and all that, but Jalen Waddle's in my lineup.
All right, Tua or Burrow?
Man, if Chase comes back, I lean Burrow. But I mean, they're both top 5 guys. Again, there's a case, by the way, and it's probably past your trade deadline. It's no good to have 2 great quarterbacks. And I know it's hard to trade them. This is a year you could, because somebody in your league was going down with Rodgers or Tom Brady or Stafford or Russell Wilson. There's so many. Maybe they had Dak get hurt early in the season, whatever it is. You probably could have. And I realized that it took a while for Tua to stay healthy and everything, but it doesn't. And Burrow, has had some ups and downs, because when Chase goes down, he's not quite the same player. But it doesn't make sense to have strong quarterbacks. You're probably stuck with them now, which it's a nice problem to have. I think Burrow's just a little bit safer, but I mean, I got them both in my top 5. I expect both of them to play very well.
All right, Scotty, tell them about Yahoo Sports. What are you doing for folks to get them ready for Sunday so they can win their league?
Yeah, Thursday we came out with our staff bowl predictions. I came out with some sleepers and some look ahead, some guys you want to be aware of. I know Hunter Henry stunk last night, gets Arizona in week 14. So just be mindful. We're looking ahead. 6 teams don't play next week. I'll do my NFL picks later today. We're over 60% for the season against the spread. On Sunday, Fantasy Football Live, Barons, Harmon, Tank Williams. I'll be handling the Yahoo Fantasy account and doing more of the start-sit stuff. It's all about making good decisions. I know not every decision is going to be right. Just get in the playoffs. Doesn't matter. You can be the 6th seed. Doesn't matter. Just get in the dance. You can win the whole thing. We'll be here every week trying to help you, trying to give you an edge. Best place to play fantasy, Yahoo Sports.
There you go. That's our Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone. Follow him on Twitter at Scott_Pianowski. Make sure you catch his work at Andy Barron's at Yahoo Sports as you get ready every week. Scotty, as always, you're the best. Appreciate you, my brother.
It's great talking to you, Big Al. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, my friend. Have a great weekend. There you go. Our bookend tackles, baby. Andy Barron's on Monday, Scott Pianowski on Friday. 2 fantasy segments every week to get you covered and keep you covered here on our Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone. By the way, with the World Cup going on, they've got all kinds of specials, all kinds of things going on at Sports Grill's 7 awesome locations. So make sure you go check it out. An 8th location is coming in Doral, I believe, sometime here in December. It should be opening up. Looking forward to that. That's our Fantasy Football Zone.
You've been listening to the Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone with Yahoo Sports' Scott Pianowski. Go to sportsgrill.com to find a great location near you. Fantasy football fans, subscribe to the Big O Radio Show on YouTube and all other platforms to catch up with all our fantasy football insight provided by Scott Pianowski and Andy Barron's.
All right. So last night, the Bills beat the sorry-ass Pats 24-10. The Patriots are no longer a threat whatsoever, dude. That's it. It's Buffalo, and that's it. Miami's got to just overcome Buffalo. They do that, they can win this division. As you saw, Mac Jones a little frustrated last night. By the way, Josh Allen was warming up in that game wearing a Fitz jersey that was signed. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I thought that was kind of funny overall to watch that. But Mac Jones in that offense, God, that is pathetic. Panthers, wow, they won. Fantastic. They took care of Vancouver 5-1. Not a very good team, but anyway, Saturday they're at Seattle to take on the Kraken at 10 o'clock. Tkachuk with a goal and 2 assists last night. Sam Bennett had two goals last night. And then the Heaters, they're in action tonight as they take on the Boston Celtics again. Not a fan of this stuff. I'm not a fan of watching the same teams play each other a couple nights in a row. I get why they're doing it and all that good stuff, but as a fan, I kind of like it broken up throughout the year because if you play a team when they're injury riddled and you played them a couple times, then you got a couple freebies there. But if you played them throughout the year, you might have got them when they were healthy and when they were unhealthy. You know what I mean? And so it's just one of those things that, and when it's a bad matchup, like you've got to watch Charlotte twice, and you got to watch the Magic twice, and you got to, oh my God. It just doesn't really. Again, I understand why they're doing it, but for me, I'm not a real big fan of this new way that they're scheduling opponents in multiple games in the same couple of days. I don't know. I get it when it happens every once in a while and there's a quirk in the schedule, but this is like your MO from here on out. I just don't find it to be a productive thing to be overall as a fan, I got to say. Anyway, let's also tell you that EJDconstruction.com is a proud sponsor of our program. 305-433-4843, folks. Custom home construction, major home remodeling. You're looking to do that. Call EJD Construction, longtime sponsor of our platform and many other stops. We love Eric. Great people. Many of you have called. A lot of you are now calling him. By the way, I'm sorry he doesn't do West Palm Beach because I know some of our listeners have called in West Palm. He does Dade, Broward County. But a lot of you are now calling because of your roof. And insurance companies are not renewing your hurricane policy if your roof is not upgraded. So if your house is over 20 years old, there's a good chance your roof is not upgraded to the code that they need now. Well, EJD Construction can get you up to code to make sure you can get your insurance and get that policy renewed. 305-433-4843, and they do it all. You want to do a funky a man cave, you can do it. You want to modernize that kitchen, you want to add a second floor, you want to add an extra room, call EJD Construction. Talking about a full-out contractor, custom home construction, major home remodeling, and more importantly, fully insured, liability and workers' comp. Do not ever hire anybody to work in your home that is not insured. If they get injured in your home, they can sue you. So that's why EJD Construction is on this platform. That's why Cutter's Edge Pro is on. I would not have anybody on this platform if they're not fully insured. No way. No way. No way. Remember how I always tell you, get your crypto off the exchanges. Not your keys, not your crypto. Well, same thing there. No. You hire somebody that is not insured, that becomes your problem. You don't want that. Make sure that company absorbs all those kind of issues. If somebody does get hurt, they're insured and they cover it. You're free. That's what matters. Call EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. All right, let's talk a little basketball with Ira Winderman. The Heat take on the Celtics. We do that next.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right, there he is. He is ready to go, hotel and all. How you feeling? Feeling good?
I've been a prisoner in this hotel now for like a full week. It's crazy, like you mentioned on your crosstalk, playing the same team in the same city twice, coming directly from Atlanta, literally got here on Monday, don't get out until Saturday. It has a little bit of a playoff feel, but sort of like you mentioned, they're not playoff stakes. So it's just a little bit different to be playing the same team like this. And their series now with Boston will be over by the end of January. So when it comes to February, March, April, and you want to get a sense of where you stack up, you won't know until you possibly see the Celtics again in the playoffs. So it is unique scheduling. And again, I understand from the perspective of less travel is better for NBA players.
You get it.
But it's also a fan sport and a fan experience. So that's where I agree with you. I'd like to see something different. I'd like to see the Heat against the Sixers and PJ Tucker for the first time. I'd like to see Durant in Brooklyn. All those series don't start until the turn of the calendar. Really is an odd schedule this season.
Let's see, at least when I bought my tickets to Montreal and Mexico City to see Metallica, it's a 2-night thing, Ira. But on both nights, they played 2 completely different sets. So see, now I'm getting something different. I'm getting Metallica, but I'm getting 2 completely different concerts. Now that is a treat. I'm going to hear 40 different songs. I'm on board. But this, I'm not a fan of this, man.
Well, and the thing is,
not a fan of this schedule and scheduling. I don't find it sexy. I just don't think it's an attractive thing for the fan. I think it's kind of boring that you're playing the same team in a couple of nights. What has been the overall opinion of people around the league or other people that you've run into?
Well, 2 things. First of all, what you're talking about is even seeing a concert in different venues. A venue change matters. It used to be in the old days, you'd play in Boston, then in Miami. So you'd get a sense, okay, did we lose because of the home court? Maybe the officiating turned in that direction. Maybe we play Miami, they get the 9 free throws. Bam Adebayo isn't ejected. It's different. So even if the venues were different, there's a different feel to the game. The thought from the players in the league and everyone is the same. God bless it. It reduces the travel. See, what they dance around, Big O, is the fact of this. They talk about reduced travel. But I spoke about it with Kurt Heelan on our RedRecover.com Inside the Paint show on Wednesday. There are too many games. So basically what the NBA is trying to do is they're toying around with the fact there's too many games, so how can we do it? Look, that's the blight of baseball. When it's bad enough, you go see the Marlins, but then you have to see the Pirates for 3 straight nights. No one buys season tickets for baseball anymore because of that. And yet it's sort of the same. Look, it's one thing to have Heat Celtics consecutive games in the same venue. It's a good matchup. It's spicy. But look at what happened to Heat's last homestand. Who the hell wants to see the Charlotte Hornets in consecutive home games? You almost should have to pay fans to come back for a game like that.
Right, exactly. That to me is just, oh, well, it is what it is. We got to live with it, and we'll move on. Your thoughts on Bam, Mr. Quiet, snapping a little bit and snapping at the referees and complaining about the free throws. Not that I really think that's really going to end up making you win the game when it's all said and done, because, that still changes the complexion for the entire game too, that they might get other free throws too along the way if you extend the game that way with more free throws, but whatever.
You know what? I think what it is more, Big O, is a leading man thing. When you're a leading man, you do that. You expect more. So let's look at Bam's last 3 games. He took 20 shots in the Washington win at home, 20 more shots in the Atlanta game. First time in his career he's done that. Last game against Boston, he took 19 shots, right on the cusp there. What I need to see is this. Does that continue when Jimmy Butler returns tonight? Does the bravado with the referees like a leading man continue when Jimmy returns? In other words, Bam has shown on this Miami Heat team he can be a leading man when Jimmy Butler is out. Now we have to see if he can be a leading man when Jimmy Butler is in. Because the bottom line is Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero were the future of this team. So they have to still maintain their leadership when Jimmy and Kyle Lowry are there. Because you know what? It could be as soon as after this season, Kyle Lowry could be gone. Like you've been mentioned, final season, expiring deal, nice match for a major trade. Jimmy Butler getting a little bit older, maybe not the same player. So what I want to see tonight is this. Does Bam Adebayo not defer now that Jimmy Butler is back? Jimmy's very good about making teammates better, but they still look at Jimmy as their leader, whether he's called a captain or not. So I want to see the same Bam I saw in Washington, in Atlanta, against Washington, in Atlanta, and against Boston tonight. That would be heartening. If tonight you look and Bam Adebayo is back to 10, 12 shots, not being as feisty, then all of a sudden you say, hey, is this team ever going to find its stride in its chemistry?
So does Jimmy Butler have to play the Tyreek Hill role from here on out? Tyreek gets here and says, Tua's the guy, man. Tua's the guy. I'd rather play with the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. A lot of you are going to shut up. You're all going to find out, yada, yada, yada. So not that he has to Jimmy has to come out in public and tell us about Bam, but does Jimmy have to go behind the scenes and tell tell Bam, you're the man. Now, you see what you've done while I've been out? I need you to continue to do that. And I'm going to make sure that I'm going to help you be that, but you need to take hold of what you've been the last 3 games. How much does Jimmy have to make sure that he tells Bam, hey, you cannot defer to me. I need to defer to you from here on out. How much of that has to take place?
The difference with Tua and Tyreek is they can be complementary. Tua can get his completions because Tyreek's getting the catches. So it works for both of them as a synergy.
Sure.
With Bam and Jimmy, it can be a little bit of an either or. And Big O, let's be honest. Tonight's game against Boston at TD Garden here is tied 112 with 4 seconds to go. Be honest with me, Big O. Is there any chance that higher than holy hell that Bam Adebayo is the one who takes the final shot?
No, but I don't need him to take the final shot. I told you this already. We talked about this. I need you to carry the load for me, okay? I need Caleb to carry the load for me. I need Tyler to carry the load for me. I need Jimmy to close. I need Jimmy to get me an important stop. I need Jimmy to provide leadership like what I was just talking about. It's not about Bam taking the final shot. It's about Bam carrying the load throughout the game. That's what I want, because your answer is obvious.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, I want, if it's a 3, I want Tyler or Caleb or somebody else or Struce or somebody taking the shot, not Jimmy.
Right.
But if it's a 2, then yeah, I want Jimmy with his vice grips, going into the lane and drawing the foul and creating his own type of 3-point play.
So then maybe we'll see it more at the start of tonight's game than the end, when Bam has been very dynamic at the start of games lately. Maybe he has. He's had a 14-point first quarter, 9-point first quarter. Maybe if he has one of those, he gets his rhythm going, like you pointed out. Then it's easier for Jimmy to step up and step in when he can. That's the thing. Again, Big O, the last time the Heat starting lineup that should start tonight's game of Bam Adebayo, Caleb Martin, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, and Kyle Lowry has started a game was November 1st. So now we're more than a month since we've seen that group. They only were 3-4, but at the time he said, they're just getting their legs. There's been a road trip. Right. Well, now we have to see a little bit more, because now we're getting between the quarter point and the midway point of the season. Now I want to see what they can deliver. So yeah, this is important to see the chemistry of that, or to be honest with you, Big O, or not see the chemistry and maybe have to move Tyler back to the bench. Maybe have to start Max Struess over Caleb Martin so Caleb can be bench energizer. So tonight, not only do I want to see the starting unit, but how does that second unit look now that it's back in place? And I think we'll get closer, because I do think that Victor Oladipo is closer. And the fact that he's on the strip and working out hard, and I know I make promises to you, and I know we don't believe it until we see it, but I think there's a chance that Victor Oladipo, next week when they're back home, could be back on the floor for the Heat. And then we'll have a sense to that second unit.
All right. So, and by the way, the other thing that needs to continue, Tyler's play, man. Tyler's play has been pretty damn good. He had a good game the other night against Boston. That's another guy that I don't want you, although he has that it in him that he's more than enough, about I'll take the shot. He's more about taking over anyway. But I think Jimmy needs to, engulf the flames of Caleb, of Tyler, of Bam. He has to really encourage these guys to really take over and be the identity, and let him, be the guy that's the closer, or the guy you need in key moments for a key pass, a key defensive play. But I think Tyler's another one that, I've been very impressed with his game as of late.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Eric Spoelstra spoke at Shoot-Around today about how Tyler's also moving the ball now, becoming more of a facilitator, growing into that starting lineup. But I'm still not so sure that I wouldn't rather have Tyler be our sizzle scorer, because you need one of those also, and you have none of that on the bench. Now, maybe when Max Struess goes back to the bench, maybe when Victor Oladipo comes back, maybe when Gabe Vincent gets healthier, we'll get that balance on the second unit. It won't be as much. But I don't want Tyler to defer too much through the first 3 quarters and lose really what he does best. But yes, it's great that he's learning to pass. It's great that he had the triple-double. It's great that his pick and roll has been off the charts with Bam Adebayo. But it's got to be more about the Bam and the Tyler chemistry. It has to be the entire starting lineup together. Hopefully we get another taste of that. And first, since we saw that on November 1st, when the Heat played the Celtics tonight, those 5 starters together.
By the way, we've been impressed with him by the way he carries himself, his maturity. He's got the size for it, and he has shown his moments. Had a really good night the other night. Haywood Highsmith, man. There's a cat that, another guy that they're developing there. And what do you see moving forward as they get healthier? Does it kind of disappear, the opportunities for him? Because that was nice to see him perform the other night.
That's the story I wrote at the Sun Sentinel today, that it's been very nice to have these heartening stories of the Haywood Highsmiths and Jamal Cains and Drew Smiths, even Nikola Jovic's when other guys have been out. But now when everyone's back, it's go time. Eric Spoelstra said, look, what Haywood has shown us, he deserves and will have a place in the rotation. I want to see it. The way I look at this Big O is, if you have the 5 starters I've just mentioned, of Adebayo and Martin and Butler and Hero and Lowry, and off the bench, you're going to wind up probably having to play a center in Dwayne Dedmon most games. You're going to play Max Strus. He's played very well this season. And either Victor Oladipo or Gabe Vincent can be that backup swing guard, depending on health and matchup. So that's 8 right there. They only go 9 deep. So have we reached a point where Haywood Highsmith plays ahead of Duncan Robinson? I think that's going to be the interesting part right now. Maybe Duncan gets out of his funk, starts sizzling with his threes. You stay with that. Although with Max Strus back in the second unit, that's not as essential now, number one. Number two, Haywood Highsmith hits threes. He hit 3 in a row last game against Boston, so we can do that.
4 of
so
6, right? Wasn't he 4 of 6?
Yes, so I think the final rotation spot could well come down at the moment to whether it's going to be Duncan Robinson or Haywood Highsmith, although eventually it could just be both Gabe Vincent and Victor Oladipo. Oladipo will have a lot to do with how that factors in.
Yeah, and plus Highsmith is more of a complete player. He just provides everything for you, overall on the defensive side of the court. He's got the body, he's got the toughness. There's a lot to like about that kid, man.
Yes.
Really, it's really, they found a really mature player that can deal with the developmental part of all of this. And
that's why they gave him the 3-year contract last season, because they want to see this project grow. And that's why when everyone said, well, why didn't you cut him? His contract's not guaranteed. His second guarantee is not till December 1st. No, Andy Ellsberg wants this to play out. They think they have, I know it's cliche, but a Miami Heat type of player in Haywood Highsmith.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Being around him, you can tell that he is a pro already.
Absolutely.
At a young age. Very, very impressive with him. All right, what are you doing tonight? So folks can follow you on Twitter and the Sun Sentinel as you cover the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat.
Stories. Just posted a notebook about how everyone is happy that Jimmy's back. They feel whole. That was Eric Spoelstra's quote. He used it in the headline. Spo praised Max Strus. He said, look, when Jimmy was out, he started. When Tyler was out, he started. When Caleb was out, he started. And he said, this guy has just filled in wherever and however we needed him. He also spoke about Dwayne Dedmon's plantar fasciitis and said, look, it's going to be game to game. It's ongoing. He's pushing through when he can. He missed Wednesday. We'll see about tonight. And then that other story I spoke to you about, who gets shoved out of the way right now. And I know there's been a lot of Nikola Jovic talk, but the bottom line is this is go time. This is about Jimmy and about Bam and about Tyler. Everyone else is just where you fill in, so we'll see that also. So I got those two for my Sunday column coming up Sunday at the Sun Sentinel. I talked to Eric Spoelstra about having a youth program going forward with Hero and Adebayo, and he was interesting. He said, yeah, that's all well and good. I'm worried about now. So I spoke about how Spoelstra is trying to balance the moment and balance the future, where the Heat are all about living in the moment.
I'm with you. By the way, really cool stuff by Zoe and Shaq in upgrading the courts and all that stuff.
Yes.
That's good. That's good to see that stuff take place
in South Beach and what they're doing in their projects. And Zoe even talked about pickleball, so I guess he is getting older.
Yeah. Well, man, that pickleball stuff is exploded all over the damn country. All right, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat, and of course, catch him twice a week here doing the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA reports, and of course on Wednesdays with the Red Recover Inside the Paint show. Ira, have a safe weekend, my friend. Enjoy the basketball and be safe in your travels.
Talk to you Monday in our Acura Pembroke Pines pickleball report. Talk to you then, Big O. Thanks.
You got it. There you go. Ira Winderman, baby. Pickleball and all.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Yes, and don't forget, you can save thousands, baby. 2022 TLX. They've got $1,000 loyalty savings going on right now at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. You can also lease a 2022 RDX. Loyalty savings of $1,000. All kinds of great deals. New certified pre-owned vehicles at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Finest dealership in the business, baby. It is Craig's Inn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. All right. Do I think the Panthers will make the playoffs? I'll tell you something, Strafasi, they better make the playoffs. Okay? If they don't make the playoffs, you fire Paul Maurice. That's it. You don't acquire Kachuk and not make the playoffs. So they better make the playoffs. That's what better happen. Because it has been very disappointing to watch them, how they're playing. Incredibly inconsistent. I just haven't talked a lot about it. I haven't even reached out to David or George to bring them on, because what am I going to do? We're going to be talking about bad shit all the time. It's like, man, I'm just tired of it. It's just I want this franchise to move forward, man, and have success on a consistent basis. Those owners want to win badly, dude. Badly. They're really good owners. I feel bad for them. I really do. Two Extreme says our Heat are about to get humbled. Involved humbled in love Jimmy Butler, but he ain't going to make it up for the failures that this team has. He's only going to run gas tank empty quicker. Well, we will find out. We will find out. They're not a championship team, unless these young guys somehow, one or two of them, turn into some kind of superstar, Bam or something. They'll be fortunate enough to get past one round if they can. That's about it. The Heat won't be any good until they get a center that can consistently grab offensive and defensive rebounds, or a tough power forward. Raider 24 Nation says, our son Raider Andrew Rogers is in a Sacred Heart Medical Center in Spokane, Washington, awaiting heart surgery, and we need your help. Bills are piled high. Anything helps. Thanks for everyone. Prayers, man. That is rough. That is rough. Thoughts and prayers there, man. I can't imagine being in that position. It's got to be the worst as a parent. That's one of those that just gets you, drives you crazy. Just Eddie says, I'm convinced that Joe Schad does know football. He thought Austin Jackson played well before getting injured again due to his liability out there from the first snap. By the way, I didn't want to get into, because we were towards the end of the segment at that point. But yeah, I know Austin Jackson did not play well. No, he was looking good in training camp in the preseason before he got injured. He looked like he was getting in a groove then, for sure. Devin Jordan, Big O, looks like Armstead might give it a go this Sunday. I just hope he doesn't make the injury worse. I think they're feeding us a load of crap. I don't think he's going to play. I don't. It doesn't make sense for him to play this week. You know what I'm saying? At all. So I'm looking at something here. First 27 career starts for Peyton Manning and Tua Tagovailoa. 6,864 yards, Tua. 6,691 yards, Manning. Completion, Tua has completed 621 passes, Manning 551. Completion percentage, Tua 69.7%, Manning 62.1%. First 27 career starts, and look what he had the first 2 years. Because when, Peyton Manning arrived, there was Marvin Harrison and, Edgerrin James. So just saying. Touchdowns for Tua, 44, Peyton Manning, 47. Interceptions, Tua, 16, Manning, 40. Manning, 40. 40. How long to sing this song? How long to sing this song? 40 interceptions in his first 27 starts, Tua 16. Record, Tua 19-8, Manning 12-15. Okay. How do you like them apples? So it's context. Everything has to be put in context. And he's missed games, by the way. So his 27 games would have come faster, and who knows, maybe better stats. Who knows? Yeah. He had 25 of those his first year. 24, 25 or something in his first year. How do you like them apples? Tua Tagovailoa and Peyton Manning's first 27 starts can't even be compared. Okay? That's pretty impressive. I like that. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, that's 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056 on the Welt and Rayom text line. Jimmy Garoppolo talked about the Dolphins having interest in him, and I really wonder how that was how that was taking place and in what context of it, and I really think that this was one where you were possibly as a backup plan to the whole Brady situation, either a backup to Brady, or if you were being forced to, move on or whatever, would you be acquiring him? And again, I think this is more above Greer with the owners. And then the other thing is, I think this is the middle of fighting with Flo too. It's one hell of a battle, dude, that Greer won. Because remember, you have a really stupid owner when it comes to football. Let's just be honest. Stephen Ross is a nice man. His heart is in the right place. He wants to win. When it comes to football, he doesn't know jack shit. And he easily could have fallen for the bait and gone with Flo over Greer, because both those guys did not believe in Tua. And luckily for Greer, that I think Tom Garfinkel, again, I'm not telling you this by some fact that I know or somebody had told me, but I kind of get the feeling that Tom Garfinkel has been the guy that's kind of helped save this franchise behind the scenes. I got to tell you, it looks like that to me. It really does, man. It's crazy. All right, you know what? It's time now to get our Volcano update. Because we figured there's a lot of things going on in life. We got to talk about football, right? But I figured we also got to talk volcanoes, because we've got two of them erupting in Hawaii. And so my man on the scene, Nature Bee's own Mike Buck, is going to give us the latest. If he's, dodging the lava right now as we speak, you know what I'm saying? Dodging the acid rain or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Mike Buck is one of those guys that can take on the world. Mikey, how you feeling, my friend?
Hey, Big O, everybody across the country, across the world is asking us how we're doing here in Hawaii, and we're miles away from it. It's a really magnificent thing. People are packing the place. It's a phenomenon, but it reminds everybody how important your health is, and being around that stuff, that sulfuric oxide, and all of that VOG and all of that. Without Nature Bee to protect me, I wouldn't go within 500 miles of that place.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, brother. I've been using my Nature Bee for 20 years. And by the way, remember, follow them on Instagram and NatureBeeNZ. Tag a friend, use our hashtag Big O Radio Show, and you're entered. And we're going to be giving away two family packs of worth over $100. So,
whoa.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Okay, well, let me tell you something. This is kind of interesting. I got a email the other day from a guy named Ralph that used to listen to you and I when you were doing your terrestrial radio show in Miami. He and his whole family have been on Nature Bee now for over 10 years, and they don't get sick all through COVID. Now, nobody makes any claims about that, but it's all about your immune system. And I'm supposing you get the same people asking you the same questions. What's in this stuff? What is Nature Bee?
Right. No, and we and I explain it all the time. Clean green New Zealand. It's potentiated. They break it down that way. When we absorb it, it goes right into our system right away. I always tell people you can break up the capsule in half and taste it. Normally you would do that and you're, oh my God, remember that commercial bitter beer face? That's what would happen normally, but you taste Nature Bee and it tastes really, really good. And so it tells you how good it is. And plant pollen, and
let me tell you something. We often skip over this potentiations. It's a big word. We know that. But I got to tell you, this is really important. You would have to take fistfuls of pollen from somebody else to get what you get in these two little golden capsules. What is potentiation? Well, what they've done is they've unlocked the strong cell walls of the pollen. It's like when you crack open a walnut to get that meat inside. That means it goes rushing through your system quicker. It's more effective. You absorb more, and that's basically the main difference between us and all the other pollens in the world. And nobody else has it besides us.
That's right. And by the way, you can go to naturebee.com, use our code BIG-O. You order 2 months. You'll get the third month for free and free shipping, but you got to use the code BIG-O for $66, which is just an absolute, it's thievery.
And let me tell you something, gang.
By the way, Mike, I got to tell you, funny story this week. I've been broadcasting 7 days a week. Finally, college football season's over, so we're not doing our Canes pre and post. So I'm off on Saturdays now. So I'm resting, and we had a college football show on Tuesday nights, so now I'm resting with that too. So now the voice is recovering. So I needed some cough drops, to help out the sore throat. Would you know, I was talking about it, right? And one of our listeners, Gus 1388, goes, "You got to go to Nature Bee and order these." So I didn't even know that we had those cough drops now, and now they're on their way now to save my life.
Well, I got to tell you, they've done such a phenomenal job. The demand for Nature Bee internationally is unbelievable. It's going to take at this time of the year a little extra time to ship. So those of you that don't run out of Nature Bee, and listen, I'm telling you something. I talk all over the country and all over the world, gang, about what Nature Bee does. Big O's got the best deal. He's got one of the best deals there is. And this free shipping at this time of the year, they're gouging you with shipping with all of the increased cost of fuel and everything. Jump all over this stuff and get extra stuff for everybody on your Christmas list. And if you order now, it'll be there by Christmas.
I'm with you. By the way, so first of all, just back a little bit to the Volcano stuff. You guys treat it like it's just a normal thing going on. Is that what it is? And
no, it's not normal.
Is there any threat for life or property or anything right now going on? Is the lava at least flowing in areas that's not going to affect any of you out there? What's the deal?
That's pretty much the deal right now. Residential areas are not affected. However, that can change. Now, it is moving slowly, but it's also moving down towards this Daniel K. Inouye federal highway. Now, if it crosses that highway, it takes months before you can clear it. It's an animal. And what that's doing right now is it's making some people turn around, and especially freight, especially goods going from Hilo to Kona, which is on the other sides of the island. It's an extra hour now going on the Saddle Road, which is a safer place to be. But, if you are thinking about coming here, and I know a lot of people are, they want to see this volcano. It is really dangerous. You just don't even want to think about it unless you're under a good guide.
Oh, okay. All right. So, but I'm sure authorities are also like probably putting some kind of a perimeter where, because we get those idiots that want to go
absolutely.
take a selfie.
Let me tell you, as a matter of fact, on that subject, you're right. There's this one road now that's 10 miles long. You can't park on it. And if you do, you get $1,000 tag, and they're issuing some tags. They just don't want you to do that. And they've got to keep lanes available for emergency, for the docks, for everybody else. It can be a problem. So far, it's okay.
So let me ask you, when the one erupted in the Canary Islands, they kind of had a feel for how long it would be erupting. Do they have a feel for how long these volcanoes, because we have two of them erupting, how long they could be spewing lava?
Yeah, the big one that just did, Mauna Loa, it's the first time in 40 odd years that it's done anything. And how long it could be a couple of weeks, it could be a couple of months. They don't really know how much of that magma. They say there's something like 40 billion gallons of that stuff on the top of the crater right now. They have no idea what's underneath it yet because it's too early to tell.
Wow, 40 billion gallons. Holy moly, that's absolutely insanity. It's like staying away from nature B. Insanity. All right. Boost that immune system. Get that energy. Get those 2 golden capsules every single day. Mikey's been taking it I've been taking it for 20 years, man.
Yep.
Mikey and Jeff turned me on to Nature B like 20 years ago. And since then, my wife, my daughter, myself, we're all on it. And by the way, my wife is a school teacher, so she brings in all the big nasties.
Oh, yeah.
And the other thing, by the way, Mike, we're still in a virus-filled world. So you need as much protection as possible out there with all those viruses still floating around.
Yeah, and they warn everybody, don't do this, don't do that. You can't mix this. You got your booster, you got this stuff. Nature B is just pure 100% organic. 27 vitamins and minerals, 28 proteins, everything you need, no preservatives, no chemicals, no addiction, no problems.
It's a beautiful thing.
But I was telling you, and I want you to, we got to finish by doing this, gang. Those of you that are Big O fans, you're right. Big O has been on with us from Nature B the longest in the country. It's like 20 years, and there's thousands of people that take it every day. I want you to know you're getting a real deal. Big O says to Jeff Cook, the owner and founder, Jeff, give us a good deal at Christmas time, and this is what he's got. What's your special deal for all your podcasters?
2 months right now. You'll get the 3rd month for free and free shipping for only $66, which is an absolute joke. That's pennies a day for the protection that you need, for the protection your family needs. By the way, your kids can take it because it's all natural. My daughter's been taking it since she was like 5. Okay. And she lives on it. And that you just, I'm telling you, by the way, your nails will grow stronger. Your hair will grow fuller. That's maybe why I still have my hair, because I've been taking this for 20 years. I don't know. Maybe that's helped out. You know what I'm saying? So you just never know. So natureb.com. And by the way, creaky bones, it's great for the digestion. It just does so many different things. My favorite part is boosting the immune system, because like Mike and I, we work behind the mic all our lives. Yeah, we can't do it with a cold.
And let me tell you something, gang. One more thing is a parting shot here when you're thinking about this. Guys like me and Big O and people all over the country that are in our business, we have to pick and choose very carefully who we endorse, who we back up, who we swear by. Nature B has a 100% money back guarantee. Jeff Cook, our founder, says, look, you can take Nature B for a full 6 months. If you don't think it's working, you put your hand over your heart, we'll send you back all your money. No risk, 100% guarantee. Nobody does that, Big O. Only us.
Nobody. Well, because we know the product is amazing. The soap's amazing. My wife loves the wrinkle cream. I have the lip balm whenever I have dry lips, or whenever I go out west that is so damn dry out there. Vegas and places like that, I got to take my Nature B lip balm. They have all kinds of products. Go to natureb.com. I've been telling you about the plant pollen for 20 years, but there's so many other things. I can't wait to get my cough drops that one of our listeners turned me on to, which is just absolutely amazing. Mike, I love you, my brother. Stay safe out there. All right. We'll touch base in a couple of weeks, and we'll see if those volcanoes are still causing some issues out there.
You're the best. I'll send you a couple of bottles of lava. How's that?
Yes, would love that. Put out here and display a little lava. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, Mike.
All right. As we say here in Hawaii, aloha, Big O, and all your listeners and all your podcasters over there. We'll see you next time.
Aloha, my friend. Appreciate you. That is Mike Buck right there, baby, from Nature Bee. Go to naturebee.com. And again, 2 months. The third month is free shipping, only $66. So you have 3 months for $66. You do the math. Okay? Pennies, less than $1 a day. For that kind of protection, you cannot beat it, baby. You cannot beat it. I'm telling you, man. What else do we have? Oh, what do you got for me, Sean?
David Furonis on Twitter a couple minutes ago. Teron Armstead indeed seen during brief Friday session for Dolphins before travel to the Bay.
What do you think?
All through it. They're going all the way with this bad boy.
But do you think it's a sell job or do you think it's a real deal?
I'm hoping it. Well, it's hard because I'm hoping maybe it's okay for him to play and it's not as bad as we think. But if there's even a fraction that it could get worse, sit him. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't think he's playing, but I think it's hilarious that they're going to sit there and make sure he's seen during practice so it can get reported.
Right.
And then,
right.
And then Shanahan's doing the other way where he said Debo this morning woke up and his quad was still tight. So he's not going to be able to practice again. So he's probably not going to possibly not be ready for Sunday. And do you think you see Debo?
Or maybe they're selling that too, and it's just BS, and he really is going to play on Sunday. And
they're trying to one up each other. That's what it is.
Yeah, this is just gamesmanship all over the place. And as we're talking, I'm looking for something that I wanted to talk about, and I actually found it, and I'm going to send it to you right now, Sean. I want you to pull it up for me right now for Tua, because this happened last year, and so I wanted to show it because it kind of comes with the story of something that's been talked about this week. And so this week it was, last week during the game, it was revealed in the interview with Tua talking to CBS how he questioned himself. And if you remember Tua towards the end of last year, he did not look like himself anymore. He did not look like the guy you're seeing now, the guy you saw early in his career that had a great attitude and was, kind of a good dude, just a guy with the proper emotion that you need, and he looked like a beaten down person at the end of last year. And I'm going to bring up the pictures because I remember me tweeting out how they have sucked the life out of Tua or something like that. If I remember, you know what? In fact, I think if you put, it might even come up like that if you put Big O Show and sucked the life. I bet it might come out actually out of it. No, I didn't. Okay. Oh, well. Anyway, but I thought it would. But I remember putting a tweet out about Tua and his facial expression. You can tell that he was just a beaten down dude, overall. I don't know if I could still find it, but I know I sent Sean the pic, and it was one of those where you look at it and you're like, okay, You can tell that this entire season has worn on the guy, that, Flo has been an absolute cancer to him, and that, he's just done, cooked. He's had enough of this crap, basically. It's the face that he had. And that was at the end of the season last year. And you can tell, see, that was it right there. And I have several of those pictures on my phone. I know it because I remember taking the pictures. And that was Tua Tagovailoa, like, all right, I'm done. I'm toast. It's over. Like, I've had enough of this year. It was a beaten man at the end. And in a way, when he talks about that whole thing about questioning himself because of everything that went on, this is exactly what you get. And it's nice to see that the coach that came in was able to help him find his way back. Because I think anybody could question themselves after going through the kind of hell that he went through. Anyway, my head says a hard-fought, low-scoring game. My gut says we win by 10 or more. Okay. Glad to see that Big O show is devoid of Bills fans. They like to get into Dolphins chats and shows because nobody talks or cares or talk. Well, remember also, Perfect Q, you must subscribe to the show in order to chat. Everybody that's on the chat board is subscribed to the show. So that's how we do it. So those Bills fans or bots or everything, they don't show up nearly as. Remember how those of you that have been on here for a while, remember how we get bombarded with bots all the time? Now it rarely ever happens. Why? Because we've put that feature that you've got to subscribe. And so some people who want to be trolls or idiots or whatever, or bots, they're not going to want to subscribe to something just to comment. So you get rid of them quickly. So you weed those idiots out right away. That's why I love doing it this way, because that way you don't get the morons that really don't want to be a part of our community. We don't need them. Jose Lucas, thank you. He says, think we have a shot of beating Holland tomorrow? Yeah, I think they have a shot. Yes. Do I think they'll win? Yes, I do. I think they're going to surprise Holland. I like these young cats, man. Still green, but I'm going to go with a shocker. Sean, let me check Cash App or Venmo. See if there's a donation for us to go to the Chargers game. Okay, no. But we'll keep you updated over the weekend if somebody really wants to, send us out to the Chargers and sends in $2,000 on Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We're still waiting. Glad to be a subscriber, says Kevin G. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being a subscriber. And please spread the word. Hit the like button. We want to get to 20,000 subscribers. Okay. We're up to 16,600 right now. Okay. And by the way, only 155 likes. Come on, man. Let's pick it up. Let's get a little bit more going. Did I see the story of Drew Brees and the lightning strike? Sorry if you already mentioned it. Been in and out. No, I have not seen it. Don't know anything about it. I'll see if I'll talk about it on Monday or something. Well, you know about it, Sean? What's the deal?
Yeah, he's filming a commercial apparently over, I think it's in Venezuela, and they're on some river that apparently gets struck by lightning all the time. And as they're setting him up for the commercial shoot, a lightning strike hits. And
wow.
But he did tweet out that I guess they've been in contact with them, at least no confirmed reports, but people were reporting they talked to him and said he was fine.
So the lightning really didn't hit in his area, but didn't necessarily physically hit him.
I guess what they say is it strikes the river, which is where they were standing in front of. So all you see is like this big, that blue glow, and then everything just falls. And then the phone, I guess they were shooting on or whatever, is down and everything. So
scary shit. I remember a friend of mine and myself, it started pouring rain, dude, and thunder and lightning. And we were just racing to get home because we were getting drenched. And brother, a lightning bolt hit like 10 feet behind us on the street. And we're like, holy shit. We just like, oh man. And we just kept pedaling and pedaling. It's never hit us, but man, it was close, dude. It was close. And like, holy crap. Anyway, we are out of here. We thank my man Mike Buck. We thank Ira Winderman. We thank Scott Pianowski, Manny Navarro, Joe Schad, Cameron Wolfe. Did we have enough guests for you today? Covering it all. College football, NFL, fantasy, basketball, volcanoes. And, we don't leave anything out on this show. Everything is in there. And we're still waiting to be, for the donation to send us out to the Chargers game. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. Let's go. We'll see you guys on Sunday, 2 p.m. We'll get you ready for the Dolphins and the Niners. We got plenty of guests, plenty of insiders after the show. Marcel and Joe Schad will join us straight from the locker rooms. So they'll give us the insight after they beat the Niners. I love you all out there. Thank you all. Sean Stanley, you are the best. Chad Shobe, thank you also. We will, and we thank everybody that made a donation, sent in a chat, a text, supporting our sponsors. Whatever it is you do, we love you for it. We'll see you on Sunday. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.
This is the Big O Show.